All right, we're back and we're live. We're here with some original, I guess, co-founders, members, I don't know, of FTC. Got Alex Gray, Keenan Gilchrist, and Johnny Law, as Brenton Musburger said so famously. What's going on, fellas? I guess we'll start with Keenan. What's going on, man?
Man, nothing. Blessed. Glad to be on the show. Appreciate y'all having me out here on the show. So, but as far as life wise, I'm working hard every day. Living
What are you
in
doing? Tell
Atlanta.
the people.
So I am a assistant project manager for a general contractor out here in Atlanta. Currently working in at the Atlanta airport, where we're doing a 4-story office space,
Oh, wow.
two bridges and a parking garage. But we're getting that underway at the Atlanta airport. So just rocking and rolling with that. I went to school for construction management, building science. So right after football, that was kind of just my thing. I moved back to South Carolina, started building schools in South Carolina for a little period of time, for about 2.5 years, and then made the move to Atlanta. And been loving it ever since. So I'm loving what I do, but just like everyday life, like I say, for me, it's been a blessing. So this whole journey for me. So.
Man, that's awesome. Well, good for you. I don't know if I'm going to hear any commentary from AG or Law about you getting to see some good high school football now that you live in Georgia. I'm waiting for that. I don't know if they're going to hear
Man,
any
we weren't
comments.
gonna get into all that. He know where the best high
He getting
school
the
Well,
football played at.
top tier ball.
Yeah, he
well,
already
I'm
know
glad,
where the best high
I'm,
school
I'm,
football played
I'm
at.
glad y'all brought that up.
He already know.
I, growing up, everybody, especially growing up at Alp, for the years that we were there, we always talked about Georgia and South Carolina. So and
Did we?
who played better football. I give it to Georgia. Y'all have some good football out here. I have seen a little bit, but I come from a place where, man, in South Carolina, man, they just breed dogs. You know what I'm saying? It don't
Mm.
matter. It don't matter where you go, no matter what area you look at. It's just good football out there, and that's
Nah, I
one thing
hear
I
you.
can say about South Carolina.
That's how we
So
feel about Georgia. As soon as you cross over that line, it don't matter where you stop at, you're gonna run into some good ball all the way
Yeah,
from
as
the
soon as you
north all the
cross
way to
over
the south. As soon as you cross over that line right there, as soon as you see that peach,
Athens,
yeah, Athens don't matter. As soon as you see it, as soon as you see
Augusta.
that peach on that sign, the boys playing some good
you,
ball.
one thing I can say is in Georgia, y'all are a little bit more bigger. Y'all kids seem to be a little bit more bigger than our
A
kids
little
in
more,
South
a
Oh,
little
you
more
Carolina.
said
But
athletic,
yeah, a little more
you know,
athletic.
a little more
uh,
explosive.
A little bit more coordination. What exactly we talking about?
y'all have more resources. That's just to be
What?
honest. Y'all do
Hey
have a little bit more
man,
In,
we
in
all
resources.
got
terms of
weight rooms.
athletes.
We all got weight rooms. If you decide to use it or not, it's on you.
Hey, hold on.
Tracks,
Hold on. Y'all played with me,
grass.
right? So we
No,
do
I
know.
know. I'm not. No, I'm not
We
discrediting
love
you.
to get.
I'm not discrediting you. I know what type of game you got. You feel
You
me?
got some
I know
Atlanta
what
roots
your heart
too.
pump. Yeah. Your family ain't too far from.
You got
Your
Georgia roots.
family ain't too far from Georgia. I ain't.
You see,
Can't speak.
this what I dealt. This what I dealt with for my whole 4 years. So
Look, I got to stir the pot a little bit. I got to. I do gotta say though, Law's comment about you got weight rooms, use them. I mean, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I mean,
It's
you
pretty good.
know.
But Keenan, you was it this year or last year? Did you get inducted to the Abbeville Hall of Fame?
yeah, well, yeah, something like that. So they retired my number. They actually
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
started the hall. They just started the Hall of Fame. But yeah,
Yeah.
man,
So you
last
on the way to the Hall of Fame? Then that's what that means.
Mm.
That's what that means. It ain't been in
I,
existence long enough for you to
I,
get in. They had some more people they
I,
had to push in there first. Okay. All right.
listen.
All
Wow.
right.
When it comes to that, I don't I don't really care about the accolades as much as I tell the guys all the time, man, it's all about all the memories that we had together. I remember more about the games that we played than any accolade that I ever will and have received. But I definitely yeah, I'm blessed. I'm one of two guys that ever have my number retired at Abbeville High School.
Man, it's
So
awesome. What was the
That's
that's
number?
the part.
85.
We're 85.
Yeah, they used to call me
Yeah,
Ocho
Ocho
Cinco.
Cinco, okay.
Ocho Cinco.
Because I played tight end, I just let people know it out who probably don't know this. I can really catch. I'm really go deep, throw it up.
Y'all was running the wing T, wasn't it?
Bro.
Y'all running the triple option, wasn't you?
So what does that mean? That means that you have.
I'm saying they ain't really throwing it to you that much.
They knew you would
I ain't
secure a
saying
good
you're not.
block.
I'm not saying you're not gonna catch it when they drop it in the basketball. I'm saying that's two passes a game.
So listen. So I really played defense, but when we needed a pass to be thrown,
You saying you the guy they throwing it to?
Yeah, number 85. Everybody in the stands, the whole stadium knew the ball was going to 85.
Yeah.
Linebacker and safety on top. But I'm
It
just
didn't
one
matter.
of those guys. I was just one of those guys, bro. Throw it up and I'm gonna go get it. That's it.
All right, enough grilling, Keenan. Law, what's going on, man? What are you up to?
Man, I'm in Lake Norman right now, married, building a house.
Nice.
I'm teaching PE, weight training, and I'm the offensive coordinator and the running back coach at Lake Norman High right now. So
Nice.
last year was my first year as the offensive coordinator. I was on the defensive side the year before that, and our offensive coordinator took a head coaching job. So he left, and I was like, man, the head coach came to me, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. So it was something that I wanted to explore, and the opportunity came open. So I moved over to the offensive side of the ball, and that's where I'm at, man.
That's awesome.
Boy, on the offense, it's crazy.
Yeah, the offense.
How do you like that?
It's a lot different. I like it. It's it allows me to see the game in a different way, I guess. Like, I know how defenses are supposed to work and what people are supposed to be doing. So it's a little bit it's cliche to say, but like you on offense, but I'm kind of dictating the terms of what's going on based on formation or based on concepts or whatever. Like I can look at a defense and say, okay, they play cover 3, so we're gonna do this to attack it. So it's a little bit different than being on defense and having to diagnose and then break everything down and kind of react to it. So I don't know. It's been a fun learning experience in the football journey and trying to figure out, how to be better at that on the offensive side. So it's a little different from what I'm used to, but I'm still enjoying it.
I was gonna say it's probably even a better approach. Like for me, the hard thing about the offense would be like the formations and the play calling and lining it up like that. Like once you get the lingo down, I'm sure it's like
See,
attacking the defense is totally different.
Like installing it is the hardest point. Like I know what I want to run. The same way if we play NCAA or Madden, like I know what I want to get to, but it's about installing it to where the kids know what we're doing so they're not confused. And like really simplifying it, because coaching in college for a couple years, when I was at App and then going back to Louisville or going to Louisville for those 2 years, like you learn so much football. And like that's what I learned that was crazy. Like what we learned from being players, you only learn what coach telling you, all right, this is how we doing it. But then when I went back as a coach, you like sitting in there and you talking through every different possibility. So I learned so much football that doesn't necessarily translate to the high school game because you don't have the same amount of time to teach it to the kids.
Mhm.
So like sometimes a good coach or a guy who's super smart football, he can overcomplicate it and make it too complicated for high school kids. Like you really don't have to do too much. I just got to be able to make it to where, okay, you know what formation we getting in, you know what plays we running, let's do that fast. And
Right.
that's been the challenge of trying to like package that to teach them, all right, this is what we're doing.
So how'd you guys do this year?
We end up 7-4. We end up losing to Eric Davidson. He's at Mallard Creek. We lost to them in the first round of the playoffs this year. But we were super young. We started 7 sophomores and a true freshman quarterback. But the true freshman quarterback, he's probably going to end up being a 4 or 5 star. He's 6'5", 195. He's got offers from UNC, Duke, and Virginia Tech already. So, like, we got some talent, some young talent. I think we're going to be all right.
Nice.
Going
He sound like
forward.
the one.
Nah, he the guy.
What's his name?
Caden Kraft.
Nice.
Yeah, Caden Kraft. He gonna be all right.
If I could ask a question, I guess
Okay.
I would say, from and the only reason I'm asking because the 2 years that I was in Columbia, I actually coached 1 year at Westwood, And I guess one thing I realized too, kind of just piggybacking on what you were saying, was like in high school, I felt like the only thing you really could teach the most was scheme more than you could teach for as one-on-one skills, individuals and stuff like that. Because I mean, you were trying, for me, I felt like anyway, I felt like practice, you had to get the practice done in a certain period of time so the kids could get back home, but when I felt like in college, I felt like we got more of that individual period time to focus on and hone on those individual skills. So it's kind of mind blowing when you really sit back and look at the game as far as when you was a player and now as a coach, or as a fan, for my sake. So
Yeah, it's way different. And I say it's way different in the sense of like in high school, you don't really have time to develop. I'm in a situation where at Lake Norman, we're blessed to have so many kids that like most of our guys don't play both sides. But that's not something that I'm used to. Growing up, like, and sure y'all were the same way. You had time for offense, you had time for defense. Now we run our practice kind of like a college. So you got time for indie, you got time for
okay.
group sessions or whatever you working on, whatever the skill stuff. But still, even with that, you don't really have a lot of time to develop a kid's individual game. Like you got to just take what they do good and be able to form it into the scheme. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most coaches, they like, oh, well, we're going to be good at this and we're going to make the kids do this. But like some kids just can't do that. So we can't do that at the high school level. Like it's different if you can go recruit a kid and like, all right, he check all the boxes, he do what you need him to do. But if he don't have that skill set, then we just can't run that. Like it's certain stuff I want to run, but I just can't run it because the kids can't do it. So I got to scrap that and figure out what we're good at. Like,
AG, what's going on? I mean, I know what's going on with you, but tell the people, update the people what you got going on.
Man, I'm still in Asheville. I'm out here in the corporate world, raising the kids and the family. Just the same old, hanging out with the. Right now, we're doing a little baseball. Trying to my daughter, she all over the place, so she running across the yard actually this afternoon. So trying to see what's going to be her thing. Other than that, right now, gearing up for the busy season. Summer's on the way, so as far as like travel and those kind of things, I'm in the travel industry, so that's when we're about to really pick up. So just kind of gearing up, we're doing that, and just thinking about what's next. Also doing a little bit of coaching some high school ball.
Yeah.
I'm still at Christ School, but looking to make a transition here in a little bit. So it's not official yet. So we don't know. But
you're making an official announcement.
Not yet. Look.
Where you taking your talents?
Where the hats? Where the hats at?
Look. Well, yeah, maybe making a little transition here. Our coach, he actually took a job at Pace University. I think it's like a D2 or D3 in New York. So congrats to him and everything like that. But trying to make I'm finding some gyms out here in Nashville. So they actually do have like a pool of some guys. So we're working on like the exposure of those guys and like some 7-on-7 stuff, because a lot of our guys go out to Charlotte for higher levels of competition and that kind of stuff. So we're trying to bring that to Asheville's, like an untapped environment when it comes to athletes and anything like that. So a lot of things in the works out here with the young guys.
And you do a great job. I've seen it. I've watched Christ School in action. Defensive backs coach, they got him down cold. So doing a great job. What is FTC? Who wants to answer that?
You said what? It kind of broke
what
out.
What is FTC? Somebody answer that.
Man, FTC. FTC. It's for the cash. We were trying to figure out how we were going to define our culture when we were up there, and like it was a transition of the culture, and it was different. Like I'm sure that a lot of the other guys, like the older guys, can speak about how they felt like they had their time and we had our time, right? So we were trying to figure out what our time was going to look like. And like we understood what the culture meant and the way that things were done, like the old Appalachian way, the way that people were saying it. But, we were trying to bring our own swag to it. You got guys coming in from Georgia, you got guys coming in from South Carolina, like you got guys coming in from all over the place, but like we're all here trying to accomplish something. And like it was a change. Like I guess we were like the beginning of that change of culture, of the new culture and the new wave of how stuff was versus how it used to be. So we were trying to figure out a way to classify that and like what we were gonna call ourselves. So I can't remember how we came up with it, how I came up with it, but like we went FTC, and I don't remember where, like I said, I don't remember at this point where exactly it came from, but it kind of caught on, and we just went, it took off from there. Like
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
took off
So
from there.
to add to that, it was like when our group of freshmen came in 2012, 2013, like we like I said, like Law said, we knew the Appalachian way, we knew the grind and everything like that, but we wanted to make a name for ourselves even like as freshmen coming on to the campus. And that's just like the mindset that we had. So that developed into a little bit more swagger once the schemes and everything like that were down packed as far as like actual playing, like football playing. So once we knew what we were doing on the field, we're like, as far as the identity goes, it was always to change. I feel like we always most App State guys have a inner want to end the Michigan talk. So
Mm.
and we always heard that we might be transitioning, like not that it was for sure or not, but we knew that like the leadership that we had on the team at that time, they were on the way out, and we knew that our time was coming up soon. So it was just like we weren't FTC at first. That might have been like a 2000 late
No, so
13, early
yeah,
14
so
thing.
so the biggest thing that I wanted to say on that, like when we came in, we identified ourselves as 1-6, and that was our graduating class. That was
Yeah.
the class we were gonna graduate in. So we came in and we were super tight, but we came in and like when we came in, I don't remember if they tried to go with the hazing. I don't remember what it was, but whatever happened when we came as freshmen, it caused us to get tighter because we not going for ain't gonna be no head
None of
shaving,
that.
ain't gonna be no nothing. We not going for none of that, right? So that was our mentality and that was our class. And we came in and we were all ball players. We had, I think, Malachi and Dante Blackman were the only two that really played our true freshman year. I think Ricky played
Mhm.
some too, but like we were balling. It wasn't like we came in and we were like, like we had a really talented class. So when we came in, we had the 1-6, and that's kind of how we identified ourselves. So we already had that mentality, like, all right, we're not going for nothing. So then when you bring Keenan in them class and they bring in a bunch of talented guys and they got the same mindset we do,
Mhm.
like it became it first became us going against them, and then we ended up being together. You know what I'm saying? Like when they first came there, we like, okay, and they're on the same thing we on. So that kind of morphed into, and that's what ended up making the transition, like AG saying later on, like you saying 13, 14, like it transitioned to that later. But at that point we were established and actually starting to make plays on the field. And that's what made the difference, I feel like, in it
F,
taking off
F,
the way that it did.
and to just to piggyback on what both of the guys said, I just feel like FTC was just a movement. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really want to break down the grand scheme of things, like you got two classes. We had I know for my class 1-7, we had tremendous respect for 1-6, but it was always a challenge for us. I mean, we had guys who came in who maybe didn't play but was ready to play. They was hungry. So and we battled it out in the locker rooms. We battled it out on the field. So once we could find a movement that we all could just jump on and follow. You look at like this, if you can go back in that time, you look at the stands, the student section, like it was crazy. Like everybody, you turn the song on in the stadium, everybody in the stands knows the song. Like
Yeah.
it was just a whole movement. And I think that, no disrespect to the outstate culture now or any other time, but I
Keep it
think
real.
that
Keep it
you
real
would.
now.
Well, I just think that you'll never be able to almost be able to get that back because of when we came in. I mean, and I tell you, I just say this little quick story. When I came in as a freshman kid from Abbeville, South Carolina, I was going on my recruiting visits, and I just happened to run into AG, and I ran into Law on my recruiting visit. And I was, the whole weekend it had snowed and booming. The whole weekend I was just loving the energy. And I told my folks, I was like, I really want to come to App because I feel like me and these guys understand each other. We mesh. We ain't known each other from a can in the paint, you know. But it was like we understood each other, and I mean, for me, I felt like that was the best decision for me. And we still look at it to this day. Like our classes are still close. I mean, you know, we see each other, or we see each other in Charlotte, Atlanta, or at a wedding, blase. I mean, it's love, and it's unfortunate that kids probably won't be able to imagine it or understand that, because now it's all about how much money you can get. And I understand that. I'm not knocking that culture, but kids don't get to grow up in a system no more. And that's how you love. That's how you begin to love the App way. That's how you begin to have a movement of like the FTC of guys coming together, because we start up as freshmen, we went winning, you know, and that went the App State way. You know what I'm saying? So you go from for a kid like me, I had played in 3 state championships, 1, 2. And then the reason why I come to App 2 is because I want to win. Then our freshman year, Law, HD, all us, we the same way. I remember all of us playing us 3 in Montana, you know, and then the way we get ran out of Montana, I'm like, no, like, this is not the way, you know. And then even then you look into the sophomore year, you go into the sophomore year and we still losing, and then we eventually be able to hit that switch. That's why all of us came to Out. And so I just think that being able to go through those times, like, I mean, that brotherhood, like, is bar none. So to me, that's what FTC to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this about the FTC. So like my whole purpose behind talking about how like the culture was shifting, like we're coming. You had, shout out to Chris Starks, Bully, rest in peace. We had guys in our class, like we were making music, right? You had a bunch. It's a lot, but we had a bunch of players from different places, but we were into making music. So we started making music. And once that started to pick up and we actually started to figure out what we were doing with making music, like it kind of got other classes into making music. Like when you look at the fact that like we had the songs or whatever that were playing in the stadium, and then you look back to what Jalen Moore did. They played in the stadium.
Yeah.
But hey, like you look at that, that and kind of what that.
Like, it right there.
But that we didn't know that the song was gonna be like that. We were just doing what we normally do. You know what I'm saying? Like we were just making music.
What's the background of that? Like that's you.
Me and Eric Davidson. So me and Eric Davidson. But what I'm saying is, by the time we made that song, we had already bought the Snowball microphone from wherever we recording in the closet at App Heights. Like we have been making music for a long time before we ever met. Like we met a kid that was an engineer and ended up going to his house, and that's what kind of ended up making that song. But like that's what I'm saying is that wave of what we were doing with that. It was twofold because that was what we were doing, but we were going through the transition of going to SBS. Coach Satterfield's coming from the Coach Moore regime. Like it's a lot of stuff that's happening, and we're all trying to find our way. We trying to find our way in it. Coach Sat trying to find his way, and like they got to a point where I can't remember what it was. It was crazy. They came and told us, like, I don't remember who we were about to play, but they're like, "Oh, y'all can't wear white gloves." So like it got to a point where they were almost trying to like take our individualism, and we like, man, we not.
What year was that?
It might have been the year after. It was Montana game.
That was Montana.
Yeah. But like it's stuff like that was happening that we like, look, we're not going for that. Like we all got something. So we all brought something to the table that made them recruit us. So like we're not about to let y'all.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
We were losing. We were losing. That's what happened. We were losing, and they were like, all right, so they start micromanaging. You can't do this. We're not wearing white gloves. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like they just started
micromanaging. Too, when we started losing, like if one thing that was special at App State too, if you remember the real glory days, like the videos were off the chain. Like game day videos were like top none. So once you start losing, it's no clips to
Yeah,
show.
the videos are
You know,
trash now. Yeah, videos trash.
so you gotta realize for
Trash.
us, like we didn't come there for like it wasn't no money promised to us to come to out. We come there because we want the gear, we love the energy, the video, but the videos is important. You want to see yourself getting a
Oh,
highlight,
you trying to
so,
make you a play so
making
you
a
can get on that
play.
video. Now we're
So
rushing in there to see who's gonna be on this highlight video for the next week. I'm saying, all right, I know I
so
made me a couple. I gotta
I
be in
did
this
something. I
thread.
did something on there.
I
you see
know
what
I
I'm
did
saying?
something.
So now when you looking at highlights and you seeing them things become like this like a sad song or like a funeral, you're like, okay, we losing that. Like the some of the privileges, I just felt like it wasn't the same. Like the people when you talk to the people who had came to app before us, people like, man, app it went like this. It went like this when we were winning. And so now for a guy to really feel like, man, we were winners. Like we look at ourselves as winners, and then you look at everything that was going on. I think that song also just came at the right time. Like it was, we get lots of cash, and then like for the longest we have been losing, so we ain't making no money.
This
You
the
ain't
other
making no
thing.
money.
This the other thing. This the other thing you gotta think about. When we came up with the FTC, it was for the cash, but the premise of it was we all wanted to get drafted. We all had aspirations of playing in the NFL. So really, when we saying FTC and we saying for the cash, it's like you going out here doing your job to the best of your ability, so that hopefully you can get paid out of all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it kind of started, and that's where it came from. Like.
Yeah. So let's pause for a second so I give people context. We actually said this, Charles and I said this at the beginning of the episode, because I know to me, because I'm older than you guys still seem young to me, but you're not. You've been 9 seasons removed since you guys left. A lot of our listeners don't know timelines and they don't know seasons. So I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna just
break it down for them.
Okay. So 2012 is when Law and AG got there. Okay, 2012 had a pretty good football team. The previous years before that, 2011, 2010, I would say, as somebody that was around as a student in a post grad, or someone that had graduated already, 2010 was the first year after Armani Edwards. Wasn't a great team. 2011 was a team that if we didn't have such a soft out of conference schedule, I don't think we probably would have made the playoffs. And we got dusted by Maine. We had like 3 rushing yards against Maine. Home playoff game got beat. 2012, okay, that's when AG and Law gets there. That was a pretty good year. Now I think that was the year. No. Jamal was the start of the whole year. 2011 is when he took over from DeAndre.
I was about to say that was DeAndre Presley, and then Jamal took over. 2012 was all Jamal.
Right, that's right. So he came in October 2011 and took over the starting job. And then 2012, that's right. That was a pretty good year. That was Sat's first year back. He had been at Toledo and Florida International, and there was a ton of energy at the time. So again, I'm painting the picture of you guys coming in as freshmen. For the fan base, there was a ton of excitement because there were a lot of staff problems. They were just Coach Moore had to clean house basically for 2012. And so this is when Coach Brown came on board, Coach Ivy, Coach Ledford, Coach Foster. Sloan was already there. Woody was not there yet. That was 2013.
That was 13.
That was DJ. Dale Jones.
Dale Jones. Dale Jones hadn't left until recently. So even though there's a lot of excitement, Coach Moore is there. He isn't renewed. There's a bunch of controversy there. You guys could talk about that too if you want to. But 2013, so we have a pretty good. Would you guys? I mean, for AG and Law, 2012 was a pretty good team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We had enough guys that were from the old Appalachian way and had learned it. You know what I mean? To
name some
hold
guys
that team together. Like Jeremy Kimbrough, you had Troy Sanders, you had Brandon Greer, you had
Steve.
D-Meek, you had McCray, you had Steve, you had Rod Chisholm. Like you had enough guys. What was my old head's names that play defensive line? Langston and them.
Langston Riser.
Yeah.
You had guys who came and had seen it done, the ring game culture,
Sanders.
like Troy Sanders, the Kimbrough, like you had guys, even like I said, Stephen Miller, like, and that was Sean Price's freshman year. Like you had you had guys that, and not putting Sean Price in that category with them, but he was a playmaker on that team. I'm just saying
Yeah.
when you're talking about guys like that, we had extreme leadership on that team.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Kimbrough,
Peacock.
Troy Sanders, Peacock, Tony Washington.
Tony.
You had all of these guys that they wouldn't allow you to be less than. Like they
Yeah.
weren't allowed. This is the Appalachian way. This is how we doing stuff. And like
That
when
was-
they
that was
left,
the-
Can you guys see this
Nah,
real quick?
That was the year y'all lost to.
He did exist.
With the
You
block,
talking about
the
Sean
block,
Price?
Sean. Yeah.
you said when we
Unicorn.
talked about the what?
Was that the year? Wasn't it 2012? Wasn't that the year y'all got the field goal block?
Yeah.
Yep, Ball State.
It was extra point. That was Illinois State.
Okay.
Extra point. Or
okay.
Illinois State, not Ball State.
Illinois
Excuse
State,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
it.
did
Dude,
look
Okay.
like Ball State.
I still can hear the thud. I can still hear it. I'm sitting.
We was at App
112.
Heights watching it.
Yeah,
Man,
we
I was at,
couldn't
where were
get
you at,
tickets.
Law?
I was in Justice.
We
couldn't get
We
tickets
couldn't even get in the
because
game.
you know we was on the non-travel squad. We was on the travel squad at first, and then me and AG decided, hey, listen, last game of the season, we want to go down here to Georgia
Georgia
Southern.
Southern.
So we took our stuff off the travel squad and got on
Oh,
the
man.
non-travel squad.
And got
So when the
punished.
playoffs came around, yeah, they put us in the non-travel lift. That was the first mistake. If I had known what I know now, I probably would have just stayed on the travel squad
I
and
would
rolled it out.
travel.
Yeah, I would have traveled, but then yeah, so playoffs came and we only had, I think it was a rule, FCS rule or whatever, that you could only have so many people on the sideline.
Right.
So we couldn't even
Be on the
like,
sideline.
nah.
Yeah.
I watched that one from Justice.
It was cold
So-
that day, too. I wasn't
It
really
was
worried about it.
super cold out there. I'm saying, all right, cool.
So
Of course it was last game of the season.
I just for people listening that aren't watching this, I just posted a comment from Clark and Co Farms. I don't know who this is, but I appreciate the comment on YouTube. And this is what you were asked about, Law. The comment was he did exist. There's a comment, and for you guys that aren't like I'm a fan, I'm not former player. There's all this like almost mysticism around Sean Price because he was so great and he was like a
Oh, my
flash. So he's there
gosh.
a season and a half, and so
Bro.
when fans like me that older than me were able to tell younger guys that like there's this guy named Sean Price, you wouldn't believe it. He was 6'5".
Bro,
He could run like a
if
deer. He catch anything
y'all
you throw
don't
at him.
even hear,
Yeah.
y'all don't even understand.
Yeah.
Sean
I don't even
Price
know.
could have been the best receiver to ever play it out.
He might.
Sean Price
he
was
might
like
be
Randy
the best
Moss.
receiver to ever
Bruh,
play that.
Sean Price was like Randy Moss at App. And I
Right,
don't,
see-
I don't care what nobody's saying. I'm not going back and forth with him. I seen it with my own eyes. This man
Yeah.
did a double spin
Was he-
in the same direction, caught a hit, and
Was he better?
spent outside, spent outside again.
Hold on. Okay. Granted,
I can't wait for you to ask. Go ahead and ask.
I didn't get to see all of Sean,
Okay.
because of the situation. But I guess my question
Okay.
to you though is, I believe y'all would have seen. Did y'all see Brian Quick?
Yeah.
We didn't see.
Yeah,
I saw.
I did.
I saw
We
the
went
end to
down.
be. I saw the end to be quick. But what I'm telling you is, Sean Price, bro.
Like
Sean
B quick
Price,
with more twitch,
like
like much more twitch.
Better
like,
hands early.
like fast though, like
And like unpredictable.
fast.
Like B quick was gonna catch it, probably give you a stiff arm. Sean might hit
deep
you
ball.
with a
You know he
spin.
gonna catch it.
He
Bro.
might hit you with a
Sean,
stiff arm. He might hurt like you didn't know it. Like Sean was crazy.
bro. Shout out to my boy. Listen, I'm gonna say this. And AJ told me don't pack no punches. I'm gonna say this, and I love my boy to death. Shout out Aaron Croft. But Sean Price made Aaron Croft first count miserable.
Oh my God. It made it miserable for everybody.
He made it
It was
Miserable.
miserable for everybody, but Aaron Croft, like I can remember seeing Cross like going to like he's perfectly playing a comeback and Sean still catch the ball and I'm seeing Cross going like I almost had it. Like and it was like that for a long time and I'm not I ain't whatever whoever want to ask me if I talk to Cross, see him today, he know that I'm not lying.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
so say we
did
might have
Sean-
had
did-
three
did-
scrimmages. We might have had three scrimmages, right? So the first play of the game for each one of those scrimmages, we all sitting right next to each other, and everybody saying they going to Sean, and we just watching. And they got 29 on him, and he's in position every
He's
single
right
time.
where he need to be.
It didn't matter.
Don't matter.
It could have been 3 of him over there, and it wouldn't have
Did
mattered.
Sean do that double spin at Georgia Southern?
Georgia Southern, the number one team in the nation. He caught the hit.
That goes back to the videos, man.
Bro, listen, I've seen
that spin like crazy.
Bro, me and AG are in Georgia Southern student section going crazy. I've seen spin. I've seen plenty of people do multiple spins. Never have I ever seen anybody spin the same way. My boy stiff arm spin outside, spin them again the same way, and then score.
Yeah. He so Brian Quick was a basketball player in high school. He wasn't a football player, and he played his last year of high school, played football. And so he was an elite athlete. Like he could have gone and played college basketball easily. Yeah, he had scholarship offers, but he wanted to play football. So it took Brian Quick a little time to be a football player. So like when he was like a true freshman, the way Sean was, no wait, was he a true freshman in 12 or was that 11? You guys
know
he
was a freshman in 11.
Okay, all right.
Well, a year before we got
it might have been a red shirt freshman.
Yeah, it took. Yeah, no, we're talking about Sean. It took.
I think he was there for a year.
It took Brian Quick, a couple years before he turned into like the consistent like threat that he was because he had to learn how to play. Where Sean Price was, I mean, everybody I've ever talked to, I've never talked to anybody that has said that there's a better freshman wide receiver than Sean Price. But I hear a lot of people, you guys too, say he was just the best receiver that App's ever had.
So we had Demetrius McCray, and he was like the corner when we got
NFL
there.
guy. Yeah, got drafted.
NFL guy. I think he probably he was a senior when we got there.
Yep.
So he would obviously be the first rep of one-on-ones. Him and Sean was his competition. Sean was probably a redshirt freshman at this time. And like those one-on-ones, like to start the session off every day was like, we all just be watching like who gonna get who today, and Sean like it would go back and forth, like, and it would always be competitive. Somebody would like maybe jump a little earlier than the whistle, but they would have to get that edge over each other like to win the rep. So yeah, we were watching some good guys as freshmen.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 2012, pretty good team. We covered. That was actually great. That was actually a really great exchange of 2012. That was good commentary. 2013, again, bringing some folks up to speed that aren't aware. 2013 was the year that they announced this is a dead year. There will be no playoffs, not going any bowls. It'll be the last year in the SoCon, and then we're going to play 2014. Be no bowls. So they announced that transition period. So 2013, we have our starting quarterback coming back with Jamal. Everybody, I felt like we're going to lose a game. Yeah, we'll play Georgia. We'll play Georgia that year, but we're not going to lose a game. We're going to wax everybody, and we don't. And we get waxed 4-8 that year. So we go. I think we were 8-4. I think we were 8-4 in 2012. We were 4-8 in 2013. This is when you say we were losing, we keep losing. You guys talk about 2013. This was Keenan. Keenan playing as a true freshman, by the way, outside linebacker. Mm-hmm. So there were 3. So I think the 2013 class and the if you look at the 2017 class, it's pretty wild too at Appalachian State. But 2013, you had Keenan, Marcus Cox, Taylor Lamb, Colby Gossett, Bo Dunn, Parker Collins, Nate Norwood.
There you go. Now you see what I'm saying. But now we talking about now we you know what I'm saying. Now you seeing
loaded. Totally loaded. And then
Now hello.
But you got Marcus and Parker and Keenan are starting as freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got a lot of youth, whatever. We're not playing well, and then So now we really haven't talked about 2014 really, but you guys have been talking about really coming up in 12 and 13, and Keenan, you would even reference a little bit. 2014, we start 1-5 after going 4-8. We start 2014 1-5, and anyway, so FTC, for the cash, you guys all finding that groove or whatever. What I remember from it was I remember that hitting in 2015. That's what I remember you guys doing that. I don't remember the cash, the tossing or anything. I don't remember that in 2014. I remember that from 15. Is that not
the first time the cash was ever thrown was against Howard in the opener in our season. We was in that all goal, and that quarterback tried to scramble out to the side. I run the boy down because I had already told him I'm going to throw it up. I'm throwing it up. I'm telling you, when I make a play, I'm throwing it up.
Debut.
And it couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened more perfect. The quarterback tried to sprint out. I run him down, and it's a slide tackle. So when I slide, I'm sliding back up. I'm sliding up, and now when I come up, now I got to hit it. Boom. Yeah. So when I hit it, it's like I don't know I don't know how I thought it was gonna go, but when I threw it with everything I had. So when it
Yeah.
hit, and I'm
It
right here in
hit.
front of the crowd, it hit. Oh, so now once
Yeah.
it
It took
hit,
a little while
now
though, because
it
like
took a little while, but everybody had their own way of throwing it. Everybody had their own way of like saucing it. So like that was another cool thing. Like nobody threw it up the same. Like everybody had their own
Yeah.
swag to it. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say, the way that you said the first time the catch was ever thrown.
Yeah, I just want you to know. Yeah, I wanted to be known.
We
First
we
time
got
to catch.
swag now. We got swag over here now. Like
Yeah,
we
I
all
wanted to be
had,
known.
we had our
I
own,
wanted
we
to
had
be
our own
known.
little swagger, man.
Yeah,
First time
like,
and those were the all gold uniform. I remember the clip.
this
The guitar was
premeditated.
all gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
so are you telling your guys that, hey, I'm gonna do this? You get a
Yeah,
sack, I'm
because
gonna do
we're
it.
all okay. We talking about making plays, and we talking about what our celebration is going to be when we make the play. So I'm like, I think I'm about to try to, I think I'm about to try this one
I'm pulling
out.
me a
They're
new
like,
one out.
yeah, I'm gonna pull me a new one out. They're like,
So
all
were the
right,
old ones
we'll
though.
have to
So
see
were
it.
the other
I
celebrations
don't know.
that didn't make
It
it.
was all types
That
of
was the
Handshake.
thing. We didn't
people.
have
Blair,
we didn't have a
Blair had
signature.
Blair
Yeah,
had his thing where he
he'd kick.
kicking.
Yeah.
Everybody had a little something, but nobody really
Deuce
had
had
no.
what would Deuce
What was Deuce? Deuce
do?
had one too. They
Deuce.
used to
I
go to
don't
Deuce,
remember.
but I don't know what his celebration was. I'm just saying we
Yeah.
didn't have like
A
we didn't have
movement.
a move. Like nobody
Yeah.
really had a move. But
Yeah.
I'm saying when I make me a play, this the move I'm going to. I'm gonna try it out and see what it looked like.
Are you doing it
So
in
when it
practice
hit,
though, or is that like the first time you ever did it?
that's the first time I ever did
You
it.
ever did it? Wow.
Yeah, and it's to the point
And
where
no,
like
no, no
a
lie.
funny story about the throwing the cash. So we playing Georgia Southern. I think we got an interception, and as we on the way up, Law I hear Law in the back. I mean, we celebrate, but Law in the back of me,
Yeah,
throw the
yeah,
cash, throw the cash, throw the cash,
yeah, yeah,
throw the cash, throw the cash. So
yeah,
so we had to make sure we got
yeah,
it on camera. And then they had
yeah,
put the clip on ESPN of like the celebration. So then like the next morning, Law texts me like, "Yo, you just threw the cash on ESPN."
yeah. Right, that need to be
But
known.
so I'm telling you, so from there it went to a thing where like this is being done and like I think Malachi got a cut up of the video, but like people at Alabama, people at all kind of different schools was doing the
Kenyon Drake
celebration.
and them.
I don't really know if they know
It might have been
what it
Kenyon Drake
was,
and
but
Derrick Henry. Somebody
yeah,
they
but
know what it
it
was,
was the
but it
move though.
took
Like it
off
was the
though.
movement. Yeah, it was the
You said,
movement.
oh, okay. I missed that. You're telling me that other players were doing the cash throw?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Oh,
Oh
that's
God.
yeah.
awesome.
And
Alabama.
we got it. We got to get
The
Malachi
biggest one
to
I can
send the
remember
video
is
in.
Alabama. Kenyon Drake
Yep,
and Derrick
Ken
Henry.
Drake. Mm-hmm.
No.
Dude, this first
Yep.
time I'm hearing that's pretty incredible.
But this the other thing though, like you thinking about throwing the cash. I'm thinking about what celebration can I do to get me on that highlight tape. So when we come in here to watch the pump up video, I can see myself on here. So I'm knowing when I'm on there.
Yep.
That was no lie, man. I swear that was probably like one of the most important things. Was
I
like,
got to make a
how
play
can
to throw it up.
how can you gonna
I
get
got
on
to
the
get on that
video?
video.
You gotta get on that video.
But another thing about like the FTC and like the development of it was like our group of athletes, we were like our own, like I guess you would might say a clique, our own little group of people where like not all of the other leadership looked at us as like the most positive guy. We were definitely outspoken. We were definitely a little rowdy. If there was going to be some pushing and shoving at practice, we were probably involved in that. We were scrappy. We was, that's just what we were. So, and we all like, if you were to walk into the Mountaineer room, there was like a section in like the top where we would
Yeah.
sit in like this little back corner. And if you weren't involved with us, you knew better than to even think about sitting in the first three
Please don't
rows.
come back here. Like
So it was like, and as we grew older, like you knew we developed once. It was like me, Law, Keenan, we're all down on the first row. But like sophomore, freshman year, we're still leaders on the team as far as like plays being made, but we sitting in the back corner. And like even to the point when we would do like senior speeches and they would refer to us back here, like you guys up there in the corner. So it
So
was
I'm
like people had to
sorry, go ahead.
catch on to what we were doing. And like once like the maturity clicked in, along with the plays being made on the field, along with like the turn success, that's what FTC really became a thing to like App State in the community. It had already been kind of a thing to like us in our own way and like the way we went about doing things, but like it got really put on the map. I can't really remember what game, but definitely that 2015 season for sure.
Yeah. So I did. So Keenan, on the screen, there's a picture of you when you were with the Cowboys for that preseason.
Mhm.
Is that a cash toss?
Well, that's after the cash talks, because after that I did this right
But that
here.
that's what that is,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. That's crazy. That how you
Where you get that at?
find this
He
picture
got a
right
whole
here.
team
Yeah.
back there.
Where you get that at?
So and by the way, that was a great breakdown, Alex. And I want to get back to that in a second. The reason I know that, I'm a Cowboys fan, and so I was following very closely everything that you were doing. That was 2017, right? Was that preseason 2017?
Yep.
So when I saw that picture, because again, like I'm following the preseason, like I want Kenny Gilchrist to make the Cowboys, or whatever. I just always remember that picture.
Man, I tell you, and I always say too, though, like for me, I didn't have no big brothers growing up, so for me, it was definitely and AG, he hinted on it too, was about how we all grouped together and we would be in the corner, and we had our own little group. It was Rick, Dante, Malachi, all of us. I mean, we were a different group of guys, man. And to me, I don't tell these guys this all the time. They always know I'm probably one of the I'm a loud guy, I'm a country guy, but I'm a high emotional guy too as well.
Yeah.
And I'm emotional about important things in my life. But I mean, man, for the cash and the brotherhood that App State brought to me, is bar none. And so like that's why, like, to this day, I'm always rep for the cash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I got to the next level, it's still the same way. Like, the first thing, and I will say this for anybody who's listening, we all had our own roles for our professional careers, and they all went different ways. But one thing I can say is, you talk about, those guys that we went to war with, who we just still tight to this day. I remember Law reaching out to me like, bro, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was a guy who came in under Law, and Law was making plays, and for me, I was like, man, I want to get my game up to his level. So for me, and then when we used to go out there on the field together, we always say, why not us? So, and then our brotherhood grew like tighter than ever. So like for me, that's why I always say, like, it's funny you brought that picture up, but I always say, like, for me, I always take for the cash and our brotherhood wherever I go, because I mean that's how much it meant to me coming up as a young man. So definitely.
No, that's awesome. And Law, you shouldn't make fun of Keenan so much because he loves you very much. So you need to go easy on him. Stop being such a jerk. No, but I mean it's a scientific fact that when, especially young men, when they go through something hard together, when they go through something, that creates a bond, because you guys collectively struggled and worked towards something, and it was hard. You guys did a hard thing. You played college football together and struggled together, and there's a lot of trust between you guys as you did it. And so that makes all the sense in the world, Keenan. But AG, so do you have a particular time? Because I hear what you're saying about, like, you got to gain credibility for other guys because you guys had your own little clique or whatever. Was there a particular period during the season that you could pinpoint that you would say got you guys that credibility among everybody across the team that you can recall anyway?
Was it still the 2013 year? What's the year where we traveled down to Troy?
14.
So I think in
14.
2013 we were still figuring it out. And so when I mentioned like a group of guys, it would be like, we were doing winter gym type competitions, and you knew like when one of our guys got it, we might not have all been on the same team, but when one of our guys got up to the competition, whatever it was, ladder drills or mat drills, it was a different type of intensity. We took it everywhere. So I think once it was our turn, I would say probably by the time Keenan and them y'all might have been sophomores, but no.
So let me say this. I don't want to interrupt you,
Get in
AJ. Let
there.
me say this. Let me say this. So like this is the thing. From 2012, right? You got to think we come in 2012, and I know for myself, like this is something I wanted to hit on talking to y'all today. Like I learned so much from Kimbrough, BG, Carl, BMAC, like all of the guys that were there before I got there. And
Yeah.
they taught me this stuff and they intentionally taught it to me. Like when I came in, this is how we do stuff. And like they made it their point to teach me those things. And I'm sure that AG felt the same way about Troy. Like these guys took us, like it was their job and they took us under their wing when we came in and like, hey, this is how we do things. This is how it rolls. Even down the ring to the ring game thing. Like at the end of the day, the one thing I can say about all of those guys is they're gonna tell you like nothing is more important than winning. Right.
Yeah.
So like whether it's Matt Drills, whether it's Tony Washington saying, listen, you can't turn it on and turn it off. If it's a special teams rep, whatever it is, you got to go out there and win it, because if not, then you waiting and you never know. So like that right there, right? That portion from 2012 that carried over, right? So I have that experience. AG got that experience. Like guys have that experience from the good leadership. 2013, you got 2013. It was a disconnect in the leadership. And the older guys that were stepping into the roles maybe hadn't had to be that leader. So like they were trying to find their leadership style. And I'm not saying it's the best or it's the worst. Like I'm not criticizing nobody. I'm just saying at some point in there, the ball was dropped on the leadership, right? So like that whole taking under the wing process, it became more of they were trying to get theirs and they weren't necessarily worried about what was going on with the younger guys. So then you take that into account when you got Keenan in that class coming in that is ultra talented, but nobody is embracing them, bringing them under the wings.
Is that because they felt threatened?
Yeah, like I mean, we are, but at this point, we young too. No, I'm saying
I wouldn't say threatened neither too though, because I say this. I would say frustrated to the point where you gotta be in their shoes too. You gotta look at it like this right here. They not getting to play for nothing else. You know, they won't get no playoffs or nothing like that. They're going into a point where, okay, this season is really for these guys. So at the end of the day, I mean, I can't, truthfully, you could understand that if you're a senior at that point right there, hey, you got to get yours, because if you want to go play at the next level, then you need to focus on yourself right now. And I mean, I'm not saying that they weren't focused on the team, and I won't say that at all, because,
but there were some incentives mixed up there.
And also too with Coach Moore leaving, you
I was gonna say
earlier, with Coach, people had feelings involved, and people felt certain ways about how Coach Moore left, and
it wasn't no transfer portal.
I wasn't. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't no transfer portal. If we was a transfer portal, probably half of the team would have left because of how respected Coach Moore was, and I was blessed to be able to get to meet Coach Moore in the recruiting stage. But once I got there, he was no longer the head coach. But I can only imagine how those guys felt. So shout out to all those guys too for the things that they did pour into us, because they didn't really have to do any of that.
Yeah.
So
my point, all I was saying was, my point in saying that is, like, you got us who's a really talented class, and most of us redshirted, but now we're coming to the point where in that sophomore or our redshirt freshman year, now we starting to play and we starting to make plays. Plus you got them coming in and they're starting and they're in the same boat we were, but we're having to basically take them under our wing, and we don't really know yet.
We
end up figuring it out together. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like same thing with like a Vols. Like you talking about guys where they coming in and we're still figuring out how to be leaders and how to be that guy, because we ain't had to. We had the Kimbroughs and the Troys, and we had that. So then we come from that to a losing year where we're playing, but we getting the brakes beat off us. And you got like Carl. The only really, when I think about it, leadership wise, you got Carl and BMAC, but really Carl is the only guy who's speaking up saying this shit ain't right. Like it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Carl is saying this is not right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you gotta realize too, though, that season was so bad. Like in grand scheme of things, I had to put it in perspective. Young college men. We was in college and we like to have fun. Me, I tell you, I love to hang out, I love to party. And then there was like, we need to have a dry season. I was like, whoa, like we need to turn this around. But I mean, this how bad we was. I mean, we was in the locker room having a heart to heart, the whole team. Player-led
meeting really, every week.
Yeah, like I come into Jesus moment, like, hey, yo, you need to get your stuff together. Like, man, I need to stop doing this and that. I need to start focusing on football. And I mean, it was funny.
Somebody told
It's
you
funny.
that? Is that what you're saying?
No,
It was a
no.
players only meeting,
It
and
was a
people
player
are
only
getting out
meeting.
there. And people are opening up that closet and pouring out those skeletons right there in
Everything.
front of everybody. It's tears. There's all type of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
And we like, man, But the crazy part is, and I tell people this too, like, it wasn't that we weren't working hard. It wasn't like we started working
Right.
harder or something. It wasn't clicking. The ball wasn't bouncing our way. We had like one of them years we had 8 fumbles and we got one of them back. Like the team fumble, whoever was our turnover ratio, we had created 8 fumbles and we only recovered one of them. Like that type of
Literally.
stuff was happening. Like whereas like you can't what you
JT
going
was good.
Jay Tizzle.
day is
What?
Hey, do y'all remember that? You remember that Montana game, bro? Like, I swear, I felt like it was like us 3, and it may not be in, but I felt like the running back from Montana did like a whoop whoop whoop, and then like he shook all of us, bro.
yeah,
And
he's
I was
breaking everybody
like,
down.
yes, bro, yes. What's y'all first impression of the 2015?
All right. So for those that are
Okay.
listening and not watching, so Joshua Thomas is commenting. He said to the guys, "What's up, guys? It's JT. What's your first impression of the 2015 class?" So
They came in kind of quiet.
But do you remember when they was out there running for whatever reason?
I do.
Well,
I
don't know why
remember.
they was out there for some. That's the first memory I remember.
What
That
gases.
we was
Half
doing a
gases.
workout. We was doing a workout, and then
Oh, it was because when they brought him in, they wanted to see who was in shape. So that was the first time we came back. It was the first day we came back. And we was about to have a barbecue, but we didn't have to run because we had already been there. And they first got there. That's
yeah, and they were running. And I remember JT was winning the reps, so I had already liked him. I think D Frank was in the back, and I was like, here go D Frank.
I don't know if D Frank gonna make it. Yeah, running like
And
that.
D
I don't
Frank
know
my
if he gonna
boy,
make it.
so I'm gonna really get on him about his conditioning at the time. I was really upset with him when I first seen him running them high gases. But
I'll say this too, though. 2015. At first, I thought y'all was kind of like, soft in a sense
Because they was quiet though, wasn't it?
they didn't come in like how we came in.
Yeah,
Like,
we came in different.
We wrestling in
Yeah,
the
we
locker
came
room,
in the locker
slamming
room. We
each other.
came in saying, ain't nobody about to do nothing to us. No matter
Exactly.
how they shake out.
AJ, it was like class wars. Like each class, you had to like rep your class. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know if they're still doing stuff like that no more.
No.
Man, if you running all love to my guy Marcus. He already know Marcus Cox that's my boy, but he know but we was like, let Marcus be. We gonna take care of Marcus. And literally,
y'all did that. We had to earn. Marcus earned it. Marcus had to earn his respect, and he earned his respect with his play. Because at first, when Marcus first came, bro, when Marcus first came, and we was doing whatever, I think we used to have them greens. We had them 10s, and whatever exercise we was doing, he had them greens on there, and we like, bro, what are you doing? Is that
you can't have the green? I think we was
green?
at least doing
No
yellow.
matter what happened, you can't do the green. You gotta have the yellow. He had the greens. We like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know. We weren't sold on Marcus, but we got in that game. He gonna catch a screen pass every scrimmage and he gonna score.
Yeah.
Every time. And after that, we like, okay, just let Marcus do whatever he's doing. If you want to lift the green, let him lift the green.
Let him.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And so that's how I felt about 2015. It was like, initially you think everybody, I guess, supposed to be like, us or you. And then you realize that they got their own swagger. But, I came to love 2015.
They was sneaky athletic. They was
sneaky athletic. All of them.
They was smart. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, him and JT. They was sneaky. JT, you had heard about JT because he was a basketball player in Alabama.
And a quarterback.
And he had led and a quarterback, and he was playing safety, so he was super smart. Like, yeah, sneaky.
Shaq didn't come in that class though, did he? He came in 2014. 14. Shaq
Metters.
Yeah,
he came in 2014.
So real quick, Law, because Josh texted me earlier today. He saw that we were doing this, and he wanted me to ask you if you remember yelling at him during freshman year pursuit drills. Do you remember that at all?
I don't remember it, but one thing about it, I'll yell at any one of them. I'll yell at AG. I'll yell at
He
Keenan.
needed to get yelled at.
Keenan will yell at me. AG will yell at me. That was another thing. Like the accountability levels was high out there. So if you come out here and you ain't going where you're supposed to be going, or you messing up the drill, boy, you about to get yelled at by a bunch of people. That was the problem that we had in 2013 when nobody yelling at nobody. Everybody trying to be cool.
They're right.
Well, you come out there and you go the wrong way. You come out there and you ain't running hard, and we gotta run it again. They sending that
Oh
change.
my
We go
God.
back. I'm telling you now. I come out here. Whether we running half gases, whether it's pursuit drill, I got enough for my allotted amount, whatever we supposed to have. So if I'm in the group with somebody and they making us do more because they ain't doing what they supposed to do, oh boy, you can bet you about to get yelled at.
You
I
might get
bet I
hands
did
put
yell at
to you.
them. Yeah,
Hey.
it might be some hands involved later on if it keep going.
Hey, like what you said? You said you came out here with just
I got just enough for my allotted around the reps. If we got 20, I got 20 in the tank. I'm not gonna quit early. I'm gonna make all my times, but I got enough for 20. So if you don't touch that line and we gotta run 21 or 22, oh man, you got a problem.
Man, we had
Man, you got a serious issue, Holmes. Man, you have a serious problem, homie.
We didn't
Oh,
start
my
running half
goodness.
gas until like our sophomore year. But like when we started running them, it was just so funny because
Bro, listen.
it really would make or break, some
Oh yeah.
You seeing some mentally weak people out there. I'm seeing Keenan, I'll never forget this because I don't even know where this came from. I wasn't thinking about it. Keenan and Terrence Upshaw are standing out there, and they're both half-gas warriors. They're killing everybody in the half-gas.
Oh my God, Keenan.
Keenan and Terrence Upshaw are saying, oh, these boys went home and didn't do no running. Keenan and Terrence saying, oh, they didn't read the fine print on those scholarships. This renewable every year. I'm saying, oh,
I remember that.
I'm saying, oh, these boys ain't playing.
Good
Don't
time,
make me do no extra. I ain't got no extra. I don't got no extra for you. So if you messing the drill up, you can guarantee.
But I
They got a
think
consequence for me.
So
back to like that
question?
original question, I think like when we all clicked, it had to be the Troy. You had to give it to the Troy game.
It was a short game.
Yeah,
Man,
that was the turn.
I ain't even
That's when
played.
Mike came in there and slammed that chair.
Detroit game.
Mike came in there and
Why not?
slammed that chair.
You remember I was on the sideline for probably like 3/4 of the game. You remember the offensive lineman pushed me.
You had coach, yeah.
And then so the next play, right, by our sideline, I say, oh shit, I'm gonna push him right now. Right in front of
gotta get him back.
Coach Woody,
Gotta get him back.
Coach Woody, like, come here.
Coach Woody, that's the thing about Coach
Uh-huh.
Woody. Coach Woody is not. He care more about the discipline that you playing with than how you playing out there. So if you go out there, you can make a play, but if you false stepping or you're not doing it the right way, he gonna get you out of there.
Every time.
But isn't that
Coach
what
Woody
made
gonna be
everything good? That's what made you guys good,
Yeah.
though.
You got to think
Yeah.
we had a mix. Like when Coach Woody brought the defense in, the way he had to teach it to us, he had to be meticulous like that because we came from Coach Jones, who is a player's coach and a ball player himself. So Coach Jones coming from I don't care which foot you step with, you better get down there and make that play.
Yeah.
Right. So then you go from that to Coach Woody, but then you also still have Coach Jones on the staff, which is still a good mix of that. You know what I'm saying? So Coach Woody is coming in and he's telling us you got to take the right steps. You got to be tight. You got to be disciplined. You got to get to your spots. Like we're learning all of these things that are making us better and making us more sound as a defense. But then you also got Coach Jones saying, "This is what's coming. You need to get down there and make a play."
Coach
Oh,
Jones saying, Coach Jones is stopping the play and say, leverage. That's all I remember Coach Jones doing is stopping the play and saying, why would you be lined up right here? Like,
what are you
he used
doing?
to break it down like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he was the complicated one to begin with. And Woody's approach to the game even had Coach Jones like simplifying his scheme. And it was like
exactly.
Them two clicking up was like crazy.
Make you play faster. You know what I'm saying? I think they would go good for each other.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, can I ask you a question though, Alex? I do got one question. I know everybody been back and forth on Twitter and stuff like that. I do have to ask you, since
Who's
you
been
are
back and forth?
real Appalachian fan.
That's a good question. Who's been back and forth?
Who is your top 5 inside linebackers that you've seen play? I have to ask.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Carl Anderson, number 1.
Crazy Carl. I go with that.
Dude, I'm just kidding. No disrespect. No disrespect to Carl Anderson. I just knew how you'd react it. So
One thing about it, before you get into that, before you get your ranking, you say what you want to say about Carl Anderson.
I'm just
Carl Anderson, bro.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson was a guy, when you talk about tapping that wood and leaving your all out there for out, Carl Anderson left it. I seen Carl Anderson with he had bloody nose coming out both sides. He plugged the nose up and went right back in the game.
He sure did.
I seen Carl Anderson. Like, I got a whole bunch of respect for Carl Anderson.
all right.
But I ain't trying to
You're making
introduce.
me feel bad. You're making me feel bad.
No,
All right.
I ain't. I wasn't saying it in that way. I know you making a joke. I'm just putting. I want to
Just
put the
for the-
respect out there for my boy
for the
Crazy Carl, because a lot of people ain't gonna bring him up, because he really only had 1 year. But really,
Yeah,
when
he
you
did.
think about it, Carl wasn't projected to be the guy the year that he was the guy.
Right.
That was
Right.
2013. He wasn't projected to be the guy, but Carl fought his way and became the guy out of all of us. Like B-Mac, me, B-Mac. It's like Carl was the guy that year.
See, I know why you're
Yeah,
the
but-
locker room guy now.
But let me hear this list though.
So you guys understand, like, I have ultimate bias though, because I went to school with DJ Smith.
Okay.
Be honest. Yeah, be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
Listen,
Tell your
well,
truth.
Okay. I think DJ Smith, I watched him go
Okay.
from being like a really young, kind of like just wild player to being like a ball hawk, smartest guy in the field, NFL guy, right? I mean, he was
Okay.
one cheap shot away from playing multiple years in the NFL. So I would say in my time, I'd say DJ Smith.
Okay.
And then I would say, as far as somebody that I would want to be in that inside spot, I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying this. I'm gonna put Johnny Law. I'm gonna channel my Brenton Musburger,
Okay.
Johnny Law. I'm gonna put John Law
Okay.
there.
Okay.
And I know it's because you played with him, but I think it's true. I take Eric Boggs too. I take Eric Boggs
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
And I think, you know what's funny? This was like a small flash of performance, but the second half of 2017, Anthony Flory played like out of his mind. He played great football,
Okay.
but I wouldn't put him in that.
I'm about
He
to
had
say,
a
you
great
gonna put him in
stretch.
your top 5 though?
I'm not gonna put him in my top 5. I just want to give a
All
shout
the
out because I'm
mention.
going down the years.
Yeah, shout out to Flo though. He did have
Yeah,
a great
shout out to
27.
Flo.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
he
Flo.
did.
He turned it up another level. Like his
Flo had to
senior
learn
year.
a lot.
Yeah,
So that's an honorable mention then, right there.
that's
Yes,
an honorable
honorable
mention. That's
Okay.
an honorable-
For sure.
That's an honorable mention. I would say, I'd say probably it would be between the next two, probably between Jordan Fair and DeMarco Jackson would be in my
Oh, get him out of here. Your list is trash.
my
Your
list.
list
Yeah,
is trash
Jackson.
because ain't no way you can leave Jeremy Kimber off that list. Your list is trash if that's your list.
You gotta have
Oh,
Kimbrough on the list.
Your list,
And
your list is
and
trash.
you ain't got Coakley on there.
I didn't see
No,
Kobe.
you said
That
guys
you
you
seen
seen
play.
play. I'm
Yeah.
okay with
Okay.
that, but I'm saying
Okay,
you
okay.
leaving Kimber off of that list. Your list is trash.
But hold on.
But you gotta-
it
but
may
you gotta
be a
take-
reason-
Kimbrough was ball hawking too.
Hold on a second. I need to defend myself.
Okay.
He played on some teams that were frustrating for me as a fan. So it's easy to remember the good times. To your credit, though, so you're making a good point. Like you're saying, I played with them, I was there. Me as a fan, those teams were very good. So 2012, Kimbrough was on that team that Citadel ran all over us, right? So I'm not saying that's Kimbrough's fault. I'm just saying the guys that are going to stand out more to me as a fan, especially this little recency bias here, are guys that played on really great teams that played on that inside. That isn't really. That's not a.
Bruh,
That's not
Jeremy
a.
Kimbrough.
But you not hear.
That's it, you go low. That's it.
So when you no. So when you think about if you think about the Montana game from 2012, you think about the
Against
running
Dan
back.
Moore.
You think about the running back. I think the only one that was getting him on the ground individually was 33.
That's it.
I think, and he was having a hard time. And like I said, we got a lot of respect for Kimbrough. So to see him kind of struggle with a running back, we was like, but Dan Moore was that guy. So like I said, we've seen Kimbrough average 14 tackles a game and a pick.
He was a
Like,
really good player. Yeah, I mean
he was
that's
pretty
100%
good.
right.
Him and BG,
Kimbrough?
yeah, that was crazy.
Kimbrough and
Yeah.
BG, but Kimbrough.
That's all I heard. That's all I heard, and that's what low key. That's what I was I wanted me and Law to be. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like coming up, like that's what you heard. Like
Bruh.
Kimbrough,
Kimbrough was
BG,
so
Kimbrough and
good.
You know what I'm
BG.
saying? Yeah, that was
BG
that was a
had
tandem.
brace.
Everything braced up.
Everything was braced up, but
We
he was
really-
he still hit.
Yeah.
We
He gonna
needed
hit
a
you
guy
hard,
like
too.
we needed a guy like him this year. I tell you, like we had zero of that this year.
Oh, yeah.
Just getting run all over. I mean, really, the last 2 seasons, not to make this all
Yeah.
about this year, we've had nobody, no firepower to stop anybody running up the middle. We're just
You
getting
know,
abused.
I didn't realize how bad we was. I'm just calling spade a spade. People can they
Yeah,
feel
we
how
weren't
they want.
good.
Spade.
Yeah,
Well, we were so terrible on defense. I don't even play the game. I'm gonna be honest. But as ask the boys, I just bought a PlayStation 5 probably about a month ago. Been playing it. Man, we can't stop nobody on the game. And I'm saying to myself, we can't stop nobody on the like I've seen it in person, I've seen us, we couldn't stop nobody. And then
yeah,
just
Yeah.
really play the game and you like, yo, we really can't stop people. Like this is like it's just kind of crazy how the game mimic like real life. Like we was man, especially from the Coach Woody days on defense, and I'm not taking a one thing I will say is a lot of people like to take jabs at coaches. And I will
yeah,
say this right here. Players today want to get paid and they want to get paid rightfully so. Get your money.
Mhm.
But with getting your money, you also need to be treated and looked at as a profession. And so,
Yep.
but the problem is now, and I see it from not only out-state players, but I see it from all over the country, where kids don't want to be held accountable for their playing on the field. And I think that is so crazy that students or players feel that way. And I'm like, but you want our hard-earned money to go to the university to support you guys out there playing. But you guys don't want to be held accountable for the things that you're doing. I mean, you can call cover two and you can line up and play it. But if you can't make the tackle, or if the next man around you is 30 yards down the field, I mean, you're not gonna win a lot of ball games like that.
yeah,
So you
Yeah,
can see
the
so
thing
people
I think that the guys that we're like there's that, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, we came up played freshman year, blah, blah, we learned from OGs who played multiple years at the school. Will we ever have, once we get a guy who's like, we have a good inside linebacker, if we had another John Law, we had another DeMarco, if we had any of those guys right now, how many years would they play at App before they was recruited by UNC, Wake Forest, and they throw them 40 grand or whatever it may be? So it's
Jalen
like,
McLeod. That's exactly what happened to him.
and so it's like, at what will we ever have a culture like that anyway? Because what I believe how most recruiting is gonna go is most of the big guys are gonna go transfer portal, or now that JUCO is not eligibility, so they're gonna probably pull from guys who already have experience. And high school guys aren't gonna get recruited unless they got some impact freshman year. So we'll get our same 2-3 star guy, but once he showed what he got, it's almost like a resume builder. Here, okay, you was top guy at App State in the Sun Belt. Here goes 40 grand. Come on down here. We'll get you to the league. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna take the 40 grand every time
and I don't and
over
I
a
don't and I
culture.
I don't disagree, but my whole thing is it's not even about culture. It's more about the player yourself. I mean, one thing you
Yeah.
can never coach effort. You know what I'm saying? And that has
Mm.
nothing to do with what team you play on or who coaching you. Effort is everything. And you look at App State in general, like the last few years. Forget just the culture. It don't seem like it was no effort really put in game and game out. And I'm not knocking no player. That's one thing. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. But I like I say, I'm just a guy who sit back and watch this game as a true fan. And I also know that it takes just a little bit of extra effort to go and chase somebody. I went and watched that Clemson game, and I was very disappointed, very highly disappointed.
See, this
I
the other
don't care. You can get beat. But to go out there and I'm talking about, I mean, it's 30 or 30-20. And I mean, they catch the ball and it's literally he breaks one tackle, there's nobody there. Like, come on. But
This
you
what
want
I'm
to get
saying,
paid.
man.
You want to get paid.
You're a high effort guy, so that makes sense. I'm talking about the overall physicality that you have to play football with. Like,
Yeah.
like AG, I'm gonna tell you this because I know you remember this story. You remember when we played Louisiana Lafayette and they had Broadway and he was scrambling and I hit him and you said,
Hmm.
"Ooh, shit!" Like
I ran 40 yards to tell you about that hit.
that hit, like
I ran 40 yards.
that's the stuff that you can't. I feel like that's what we lack. And once again, I don't know what's going on in the inner workings of the program, so I'm not speaking on what they're doing or what nobody trying to do. I'm just talking about like when you watching same thing, AJ. Like you probably can't remember a year where we didn't have a defense that was out here
Mm,
hitting people. Like people are not. I didn't feel like people were getting
mm-mm,
hit
mm-mm.
last year. I didn't see too
No,
many people getting hit. And
no,
like
this
not that
is
we're not making tackles, they're tackling, but I'm talking
no,
about like we're
no.
trying to deliver maximum damage on
Separate
every
him from the
play.
ball.
Well,
Separate them
here's
from the ball.
this is Alex and I've talked about this a lot over the years, especially this past year. I don't know if you guys watched we played a midweek game against South Alabama.
I
Um,
went to that game. I was there. I took
all
a
right,
bunch of recruits up there.
all right. So you saw they were doing on defense to us what we used to do to the other team. They were
Hmm.
flying around. They were who's that? Mekhi Jackson. Like the only guy that was like really popping Mekhi Jackson over the middle was South Alabama. We weren't hitting guys like that. We weren't flying around and playing loose, and we just didn't have the guys that were doing that. Now, to what Keenan, what I think you're saying, and I think what you're getting at, and Alex, you even commented a little bit on this, is like kind of like an industry thing. What I've been disappointed with as a fan, and again, this is not blame any one particular player, but the set of incentives for everybody have changed. There's been such an incentive for the player to kind of look at themselves and not the collective desire to win together. And to me, what's bothered me, I don't mind saying this, whatever. I mean, like, I want the program to do well, but I'm going to say things that like annoy me. I think we're spending way too much time promoting like how much NFL experience the current staff has because we're going to help you develop and get to the league. I get tired of hearing that because I am happy that DeMarco Jackson and Akeem Davis-Gaither and those guys, I'm happy they're in the NFL. It's really awesome. I want Appalachian State to win, though. Like, I don't want us to get guys up here, hey, come up here, we're going to develop you an NFL player. I want you to come up here and win, actually.
Yeah,
That's what.
but like okay, but listen though, listen, this is what I'll say about that. Coming and developing a person to be ready to play in the NFL is going to translate to wins. Like, and I'm saying that in the sense of it's
But
a
that was
certain
already
way that
happening, though.
stuff is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what else are you selling kids on to come play in Boone? You
Well,
don't have
that's
the
what you have
NIL,
to
the
do
other
today.
skills.
You're
You
right.
don't have those things to be able to entice a kid to come up to app unless they want to come and try to make it to the league and they want to play and win ball games. Because you don't have the NIL collective whole bunch of money. You got to get really good high school kids and you got to get guys who want to come up here and they're coming up here because they're trying to go to the league. Like so having that much NFL experiences is what we have to use to recruit the kids because you don't have it's not like USC or it's not like one of these big market schools where you got money to give. Like you don't have that.
To argue with you though, I will say this: App is one of the I think highest paid NIL schools as far as in the Sun Belt. Now we're not a North Carolina or we're not.
AJ would know.
I mean, I've seen the report, and I don't know if the report is true or not.
Nobody knows anything.
I do my digging, but what I will tell you this right here, regardless, like I don't disagree that we are missing the physicality. I don't disagree that times are changing, but what I will say is this right here. You just like in your profession, just like in all four of us, we got different professions. And as a man, you are held accountable for your actions at your profession. Yeah. My problem is today, our players don't want to be held accountable. Nobody wants to be held accountable.
I'm not saying you're wrong on that. You're right on that. I'm talking about that's a problem over the whole thing. What I'm saying is if you're App State, because you gotta remember, I coached at Louisville for 2 years when the NIL was really starting to really kick off where everybody's starting to get paid. Them boys are getting paid. And the same thing, if we had money, if we had even a decent amount of money, we would have been able to keep Jalen McLeod. We couldn't even keep Jalen McLeod. He went to Auburn. Yeah. They gave him $60,000.
But in reality, though, we'll never be able to compete with those teams.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, as a high school coach or as a parent or as a whatever, what about App State? If I can go, if it's not the fact that I'm trying to make it to the league, or it's not the fact that I'm trying to come here because I'm getting coached by NFL caliber guys and they're gonna get me right so I can make it to the league, the FTC to get my money. I'm not coming up here because it ain't no NIL money. Like I'm coming for the simple fact that I'm trying to make it from here to there. And
Right.
it's a
Well, and
bunch of guys who've done it there that are here now. You see what I'm
And
saying?
it's hard to see
no,
that on
and I
our
agree.
level, but like if you look at like a level like a D2 level, if you look at like if you ever see why like kids will go to West Georgia, it's because I mean, what can they offer you? They're not giving you a bowl game or anything, but they send guys to the league every year, and that's their pitch. You know, I hate to compare us to a level like that, but you see them using the NFL experience.
Well, hold on a second. So time out. I'm not saying that it's not something that you have to do and have to address, and I'm not saying that it's not hard. What I'm saying is, you kind of actually already said it, Law, that you want to go the next step. FTC was about, I want to play in the NFL, but you also are saying, I want to win. It's about winning. It's about winning. So it's hard now. Recruiting is harder now, for sure. There's no question about it. I'm simply saying it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. There's got to be a lead. It's either got to be, we're winners. We're going to win. We're going to come up here. Everyone's going to feel good. You're going to be on that highlight film. We're coming up here. We're going to ball out, all that stuff. And by the way, look at these guys in the NFL. I'm simply saying, for me as a fan watching a bunch of great App State teams from the time I was a student, and the first game when I was a student was the Michigan game, all the way up till now, is winning is the thing that leads. And I think it's a mistake and I'm not even saying App State's blatantly doing this or whatever, but to me, I think it's a mistake for us to lead with development and look at all of our NFL experience, because really the secret sauce of what makes App State special at the end of the day, the reason we go to games is what? We want to see we want to win. So you do have to address
High
the
level, high
development.
effort.
Yeah.
You have to address all that stuff, and it's harder now. And that's why I sympathize with the coaches, because it's hard. Like imagine having that conversation with Jalen McLeod, or like this year with Santana Hopper. Like Santana Hopper was like one of the only like true dudes on that team, on that defensive line, and having to like what can you do? Because he's getting
I'm saying
money thrown at him.
I'm never.
is my bad. No, I'm not trying to cut you
Are
off.
you
But I'm
good? You
saying
good?
about that pitch and you looking at that, right? Like you're able to do that when all of our coaches in the past, everybody except for Drinkwitz was an app guy.
Yeah.
So of course I can sell you on the app culture and the winning and all of that because I come from that. But when you're talking about bringing in a staff that's not from app,
Yeah, you're
bringing
right.
them in the app, you
Yeah.
got to highlight their resume. And what is their resume? The
No,
resume is
you're
the
right.
fact that they've been in the league. And that's what you got to highlight. Like you bringing an app guy back with DJ, but like you can't. It's I honestly feel like they have to highlight that. You have to.
And I agree. But I'll piggyback to AJ, and what you're saying is more of the it's not that it's an issue with prioritizing and using that as a sales pitch. I think the problem is in general.
If we don't win,
if we don't win, it's always going to be a problem.
Well, the thing is, just like look at James Madison. James Madison was able to make the change, and even though we beat them every year, for some crazy reason, we beat them every year. Every year, they made a change to D1 single A, and they haven't missed a beat.
Yeah.
And you look at everybody else who is starting to make the changes. I guess my question is, what is App not doing? Because I get it. Times have changed. Money comes into play. Okay, that's cool. But what is James Madison and schools like that? And I don't want to try to compare it to those guys. I mean, they're our competition in the Sun Belt. So what are they doing to be able to make the change that we're not able to do? And maybe this new coaching staff does that. I don't know. I'm just, that's my question as a fan.
Yeah.
you got to go down to recruiting.
Well,
from the
yeah. No, so the James Madison, that's Katie. I mean, that's why we have a new coach, I think, right? Right now, because what I forgot his name, Signetti. I can't believe I forgot his name. So Coach Signetti had been at James Madison since I think 2018, 2019. And he basically kept that staff for like 5 years together.
Okay.
So they're recruiting, cracking heads. I think they won a national championship. I might have gotten that wrong. But they had continuity, and they were really great at recruiting. And so they got on board. And then they made a really great hire with Chesney. So they made two really good hires. But they were great at recruiting. That's what I think it comes down to. And I think ultimately, and I love Coach Clark, but if you just look at the recruiting classes don't lie. Like if you look at the class and just their output, and Alex and I have talked about this a lot. If you just look at output from this class to this class, who are the playmakers? Like who are out there? Who are the great players? Like you see classes along the way. Some of those were Sats last class. Drinks class wasn't a high output class. Then you get Clark in there. And I don't think that we at Appalachian State, I don't think they did a good job filling the funnel of great players again. And I think that's
this is what I say about it too, right? Like about what you talking about, to your point, AJ. It's something that's really ticked me off because now that I am a high school coach, right? Like, the portal has got everybody to the point where they feel like they got to go in the portal to get good athletes. But when you look at it, all of the players that were on our teams were under recruited guys. We may have been a 2-star, may have been a 3-star, may have been whatever, may have been a no-star or 1-star, whatever. Like, but we're dogs and good football players, and they care more about that. So now you look at it, and when you look at how our careers played out, and you look at it 2-3 years down the stretch, it's like, okay, how did this guy end up at App? Well, he was under recruited, but he was a dog, and they took a chance on him. But like, we're not doing that anymore. Now we are recruiting guys based on whether they came from the portal and they got some experience here or there. And then you're looking at it. I think we carrying more, and I can't say because I'm not in those recruiting meetings, but I'm saying I've called them several times about guys, and this the last staff. I called them several times about guys that I knew could play because I'm calling out my people up there before I call anybody. Other connections that I got, I'm calling them, and they're like, we'll let you know, we'll get back, whatever. And they ain't really recruiting the guys. But like, I've called them about a linebacker, not from our school, but a linebacker from our rival school who I felt like was one of the best linebackers in the state. I called him, he had no offers. They okay, so I left it alone. Next thing you know, he get offered by Indiana, the coach that just left, Cignetti. Now he there. So like, same thing. We got a bunch of kids. I called them about our quarterback now. They like, we don't really know. Coach, we'll let you know. We'll be back in the spring. Nobody, they're not offering them. Same thing. We got a good running back.
That was this staff or the last staff about the quarterback?
It was the last staff.
Yeah.
But like, I called them to get everybody. I called everybody on the staff to call. I'm calling everybody. Like, just check his tape out. Like, I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying that, okay, I know everything, and I'm not saying that this kid, you feel me, but I wouldn't waste my call to call y'all if it was a guy that couldn't play. I would never even call you. I wouldn't, I wouldn't say nothing. So I'm saying just at least look at the film. And I felt like, I don't know if they were or not. I just feel like we got to get back to recruiting really good football players, and we can't worry about the politics around it. Okay, he got 4 stars or he got 3 stars or this and that. Like, can he play? When you turn on that film, is he a dog? Can he play? Does he meet our size requirement? If that, you feel me, then we got to take our shot on him. But they more worried about, well, who's offered him? And like, it's a weird, the recruiting game is a weird game now. And like, I guess it always has been, but even now, even more now than ever.
Clifton Duck was the prime, this is what you said. I was like, I just think about, didn't nobody know who Duck was. He didn't have, I don't think, the only offer he had was App State, and then you look at what he did at App State, for his interception wise. I mean, and I don't know about Latrell. I don't know what his numbers was like, but I mean, we brought a lot of guys who, and I could pick back too long on what you said, because I remember when we played against Tennessee, I said this. I said, we belong here, like out brought bringing guys who, and I look at Law, I'm like, I know he can play D1, but he just didn't get the right opportunity. AG, I know he can play. When I say D1, I'm talking about ACC, SEC, that's not my Power 5, yeah. So like you're 100% right, Law, when you said that, and I never really even thought about it like that too, because like I say, all of us, we came from a position where we was right on the cusp of playing on that, going to a Power 5 or going to a big time school, but we was either an inch too short or we was second too slow, and then, but and that's, to me, I felt like that helped motivate us when we played Tennessee. We should have beat them.
Yeah, but when you really look at it, down the 3-year stretch, like I said, that's how. And of course, you look, it's a different game now because of the portal. But when you look at it down the 3-year stretch in the careers that we had, like even looking at JJ, like Jalen Moore, like you look at all these kids and you like, ain't no way he should have been out. But then he wasn't that when he wasn't that when we first got there. Like none of us were what we ended up being down the stretch, but we were good
Facts.
football players coming in, no matter how you slice it. Like
Yeah.
when you go back, you can look at any of our high school highlight tapes now. It's like, okay, he's a good football player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's more important sometimes than all the other stuff.
I want to say something what you just said, Law, about calling up there and having guys you want to take a look at. I think ultimately, and I'm not saying, by the way, that the reason we have fallen off in some areas is because they didn't return your call specifically or whatever. What I am saying is I've actually heard examples of that from several different people of like, I'm around this kid, either they're a coach or, hey, this kid would love to come to App or whatever. They don't follow up and the kid ends up somewhere else, either at the same level or higher. So I've heard that several times, which to me, and again, I don't know the details, and I probably shouldn't be saying this. It's probably irresponsible, but I've already claimed that 2025 is my year to be irresponsible on the show. I got nothing to lose. I can't get fired. But to me, like hearing stuff like that, like that's a bad sign. Like you need to be hungry to find guys that reputable people say are playmakers. You just got to do it. You got to figure out those diamonds in the rough and get the Caleb Fuller who shouldn't be playing defensive end.
Hello.
At the top 5, G5 school because of his quote unquote his size, but he's a great player for Appalachian State.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find players like that. But here's the other thing. Here's the piggyback also, or to add a little context to what you're saying though. Here's why recruiting is also so important. Part of why someone might not return your call on that is because when you miss on a position group in recruiting, let's just say linebacker, let's just use that as an example without getting into specifics. And you're like, oh, wow. So we don't have anybody on the inside that we can really rely on. We have now to go to the portal and find Andrew Parker, who was a slightly undersized SEC linebacker. We have to have him. So now you get a fifth-year senior that you're relying on. And so when John Law calls me and he says, hey, I got this 17-year-old who's really good player. Well, I actually don't need a 17-year-old. I need another 22-year-old.
I'm glad that you said that. I was about to say, like, also coming from, I've coached in the college world. And like, I wasn't a position coach, but I was a GA, I was a QC. Like, I know that there's a bunch of people calling, saying, well, I know you here. I got a kid for you. That. So I know that they blowing you up, right? So I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying that all that staff should have listened to everything I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's our job to at least look at the film and see if he a player. Like I can turn it on and see in the first minute whether he a player or not.
It shouldn't take that long to check that out.
That's in the first minute, you know whether or not this kid's a player when you turn on that tape. And all I'm saying is it takes a minute for that. So like for me, I'm just a high school football coach. But I'm saying when I'm also being a former player, having the love that I got, I would never, and being on that side of it, I would never call nobody at the college level and tell them, especially not App, hey, I got a kid for you. I'm not calling to sell all of my kids because all of my kids can't play at App. Right. I'm only calling you when I got a kid that I know for sure can play at App.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying about the situation.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's down to them to be able to evaluate the talent at a high school level. Because I'm not saying, hey, I got a kid you need to offer. I'm saying, hey, here's this kid's tape. Just turn his tape on and see. Because I haven't seen it. So I know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, turn it on.
No, I think you're right. And I like I said, I hate even saying this because, like, I don't like when coaches lose their job. I don't like when we go through hard times. I don't like saying, like, recruiting. I don't like saying that stuff because it's kind of a downer. But at the end of the day, man, you got to have playmakers. And AG, you and I have been talking, this season so much about like where are the playmakers, like where are they at, what are we seeing? And some of it's unfair because these guys get poached. Some guys get poached, they go somewhere else. But I don't know. I think part of the Appalachian way is to like be gritty and say it don't matter. Go find somebody. Like go work harder than the next guy. Go work harder than the next coach. Find the Caleb Fuller. Find the John Law.
Yep.
Go find the dude.
I'm gonna just tell y'all the secret. I'm gonna just tell y'all a secret on that. That player is not coming from the portal. You can't get at App State. Just think about this.
No, you're right. I agree with you.
The inside at App State, I just told y'all about the money that these other schools have. So most of the deals that have been done in the portal are already done before the kid gets in the portal.
Right.
And if you
Yeah.
don't have the money to be able to compete with these upper echelon kids, then you're not gonna get the kid that you get out the portal is not even he is experienced and maybe he has been somewhere, but most of the time you're not gonna get a diamond in the rough out of the portal. So
Right.
you have to go and recruit really good high school football players. Maybe every now and then you can go grab a guy at the portal at an app that can plug a spot for you. But
Yeah.
like when you're talking about going to find a guy, it's not gonna come from the portal. And right now everybody's fascinated with the portal because you're trying to get something that is a
Yeah.
proven product.
Well, it's like a drug though, right? So you have to go to the portal. Why? Because you need experience. I need a redshirt junior. I need someone now that can play who's got like a 21-year-old's body. I don't need an 18-year-old to go through it. But because we maybe missed a couple times, and I need to win now. Because if I don't win now, I lose my job.
Exactly.
So,
And that's
but
the pressure that's the pressure.
it's the pressure from everything. It's pressure from donors and fans and everything else. So like this will never happen at a football school. A football school can never say, "Hey guys, listen, we're going to really hammer high school players. We're going to get the kind of guys that we want out here, those diamonds, or whatever. You say whatever you want." That can't happen now because you got to win. And sometimes the best way for you to win is to get the guy like, I agree with you. Well, I agree with you. You got to get the guy that, hey, he tried to play. I was going to pull Nebraska. Like he want to play at Nebraska.
He went there, it didn't work out for him.
Didn't work out. He came here, but he's only here for a year or two. Where you would have been better off, long term, getting that kid up here. He's 18 years old and he worked and whatever. I mean,
I don't know. My thing with that too, like I shout out Coach Clark, shout out because he gave me an opportunity to coach for him. Shout out Coach Sat. Like I understand too that those guys are in a position where everybody got an idea from whether it be the boosters or coaches on the staff or whether everybody got an idea of how you should be doing something. Like everybody got their opinions on what you ought to be doing when you the
how it
guy.
should go.
You feel me? So
Yeah.
like I get that
That's
part
true.
of it too. I'm saying if you don't like at Louisville, we were really fortunate to be able to have some good NIL because we didn't have professional teams to be able to bring some guys in that were immediate impact players that came out of the portal. I'm talking about SEC transfers that came in and played right now. I'm just saying my personal opinion. Like I said, like you saying, AJ, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying I don't think we're going to be able to go and get a guy from the portal who is going to be worth a damn necessary. Not worth a damn. I don't even want to say it like that. A guy who's coming from the portal that's going to be an immediate. He come in
I know what
and
you mean.
solve all your problems.
I
don't think that that's going to happen.
Yeah, because once you and it's no, but it's almost too late when you look at it. Once you transfer, because my thing is as competitors, you want to go up because at the end of the day, you want the best of the best. So if I come from the SEC and I'm going down to the Sun Belt, I'm not saying that people in the Sun Belt can't compete with people in the SEC. Only thing I'm saying is you just went from the best conference of so-called college football to now to a weaker conference. I'm not knocking you, brother. I'm not knocking anybody. All the thing I'm saying is
should be a
you
red
might
flag.
not be able to solve. Yeah, well, you might not be able to solve all our problems.
That's all I'm saying right now.
Yeah, so
it might be better just sticking with this high school guy and groom him on up.
Yeah.
No, this my question. This my question because one of the coaches when he came by there, I had been at Lake Norman for 2 years and nobody from App came through, shook no hands, looked at our players, nothing. So when DJ got the job, I reached out to him and was like, hey man, like we got some good players down here and nobody been through here. So immediately they sent somebody by. So I appreciate them for doing that.
That's
and
awesome.
Coach Jones, I think his last name Jones, he a defensive line. Defensive line coach up there, Keith Jones. He came by there, chopped it up, watched the film, and I was talking to him about this same thing with the NIL. He's like, "Oh, hold on, now we got a little money." So, what they saying? How much money they saying we got?
Hey.
I don't want to be speaking. I don't want to be speaking ignorantly.
They
You said we got the most money in the Sun Belt. I want to know what they saying. I don't know.
Look, I gotta do first of all, and I can always hold myself accountable. I have not joined the Yourself Club, and I said that
I'm in the Yourself Club.
Let's go, AG.
I'm in the Yourself Club.
So yeah, and I'm gonna do a better. I'm gonna do a better job, and so I can't necessarily talk about the lack of money that we have, but I can say that I know that I'm gonna do my end and try to
No,
help
I'm
App State
asking.
be
You
the best.
said you said
Oh yeah, but
early
I know
on.
The
You
spreadsheet.
said
yeah, they
they
said
saying we the
they're
spreadsheet.
saying,
They saying we
bro,
the
when
top
you
of the
look at
stuff, but what we got?
we're the top. We are. I it didn't have a number. It just said that we are the number one
See,
school
that's a
for
red
far
flag.
as
If they
kicking
saying
out
yeah,
NIL money.
who is they? Because what if it ain't got no
Bro,
number on there? That's a red flag for me. I
Ain't
don't
no
know
way we
what
got
that
more
number is.
than Texas State.
hey, you know
Cause they
what?
saying we got more than San Marcos, them squad from San Marcos.
Mm-mm. They got money.
I get my sources together and I'll make sure I send them over to y'all guys.
I
Yeah,
just
we
want
need
to
to
know
see
how
that
much what we
spreadsheet you
got.
got.
Yeah, because I could be speaking ignorantly. I'm speaking about the boom that I know. I'm speaking about the high country and opportunities that like.
This ain't the mashed potatoes and fried chicken
Not this
days.
You
is
know, I
not
was
the
thinking
Daily
about
Boom
the
after
no
training
more. Yeah,
table.
workout.
this
You know,
not
that's
is
exactly
not
what my
training
mind was.
table. This not that hamburger steak. Um, this ain't
Round steak.
yeah. This ain't the one
But it was just
where we
hamburger
coming
steak
in there.
yesterday.
It was hamburger steak yesterday. They put some gravy on there. I ain't.
Hey, they used to be like, man, no lie, AJ, the regular students, they'd be like, man, y'all eat
Yo,
What y'all
eat
got
so
good
back
back
good.
there?
there.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had me,
y'all
bro.
like
I'm
y'all
like, bro,
got
you can
y'all
get
own
my plate.
shelf. I'm
You
like,
can
I
get
would
my
trade
plate
with
right
you
now.
any
Yeah,
day
you can
right
get my
now.
plate. Let me see that card. We might go over here to Chick-fil-A.
Let me get
Yeah.
that spice
Slice
for
of
Bro,
real.
pizza, some
listen, just
fries.
think about this. Think about this. When there used to be wing night, boy, them boys, we used to be running in there for wing night, boy.
What's the wing spot? What was the wing spot back in the day for
No,
you?
it was wing night. We used to go to tavern. We used to go to a couple places to get the
Taylor
wings. But
House
I'm talking about
towards the end there.
at training table. We used to have wing night, and we're running in there.
Wednesday, I
And
think.
they used to have to take the to go boxes and put them up because everybody going in there to load up.
That'd be the one
Hey,
day everybody showed up to train table.
Everybody showed
Wing
the
night,
training table.
everybody in there.
Sometimes people come in the training table, they looking in there and they saying, "Nah, I ain't eating that tonight." They
Yeah,
run
like,
back
what
out
they
the
got
door.
today?
You
Oh
got to
no.
sign
grits,
your name so you don't get punishment for missing your meal.
grits and
But after that, I'm
eggs.
out of here.
That's pretty funny. All
Grits
right.
and eggs.
We good for breakfast. We good for having
Are
a
they
breakfast now.
a B for
All right.
D?
So you guys have been talking for so long
We've been
about so
going
many
at it.
awesome things. But listen, I do have a couple things because Alex gave me an idea. So I just want to throw a couple things out there and we'll wrap up. I'm going to throw a little bait, and maybe this is a mistake. Okay. But I want to throw
There's no
some.
mistakes.
Okay.
No
I'm gonna throw,
mistakes.
who is more important ultimately for the run, the performance on the field, and the success of the program from 2014, 15, 16? Coach Satterfield or Nate Woody?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Nate Woody. I'm
ooh.
gonna
I'm
say
gonna say
Nate
Nate
Woody.
Woody.
Keenan said Woody.
I'm going Woody. Lago has something philosophical. It's gonna make sense.
Yeah.
I need a
Hold on
I,
paragraph.
now.
I
Hold
already
on.
got one.
Hold
I said
on.
Woody.
Hold on. I
I already
know
got
you're
one.
gonna say Woody. I know you're gonna say
You
Woody,
know
but
what? So Law was going to say Woody, but because Keenan said Woody, he wants to disagree with him. Let's talk about
no,
it. Go
it's
ahead,
not
Keenan.
even. It ain't got nothing to do with it. They both just took Woody. They took Woody.
So now
I
you want
think
to be
I'm.
contrarian.
I think I'm going the other way just because they both took Woody. Y'all got to think
Quit.
about. Y'all got to think about this. Think about this. This is what Sat did. Sat moved Jones and brought Woody in.
He got
Yeah,
Jones.
That's a chess move.
That's a
that's a big
chess
difference.
move.
And he brought in some great coaches
All
too.
right, okay,
You know,
okay. But now that they here, now we're gonna talk impact. Go.
That's why I said it like that.
I'm gonna say it like this right here. You
Mm.
had guys on the offensive side of the ball who were saying broadax. Like broadax was a theme that started on the defense side
Ooh,
of
boy,
things,
AJ, that's a
and
question, boy.
That's a
and
good
for
one.
me, I felt like you could put the defense out there, and we was going out there to set the tone. I mean, you had Blair out there. I mean, and as far as defense and our mindset and how we was made up. I mean, you go from every
Ooh.
step of that defense, and I felt like we were like that. So I felt like Coach Woody just
Boy,
had a
that's a
movement
So
of he
boy,
make that
AJ,
defense.
that's a drink champ question.
So
Hey,
here's
man,
here.
Take a shot. God.
That's
I
what
knew
we
it.
yes.
Yeah,
We there.
yeah,
We there.
I'm gonna take a shot of the water. I can't
Water.
my water.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with y'all. I'm gonna go Woody.
So here's why I think it's Woody. all due
No way.
respect to Sat. This isn't like a slander on Sat, but here's
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
won. Here's how we won. Sat had a very specific, and I think Sat was really great on the offensive side of using players for what they were really good at. Right? He knew what they were good at. That's how he used them. So we had Taylor Lamb, who wasn't, this dynamic, way downfield playmaking passer. He took care of the ball, was real smart. But once we were moving the ball and controlling the clock a little bit, and once we got a lead, if the defense was not giving up anything, then that dictated what he did on offense, and that just dictated the game.
I'm gonna
And so-
say this about him. I don't want to start up a whole nother conversation. Coach Sat and AG can speak to this. When Coach Moore was there and Coach Sat was the offensive coordinator and associate head coach, Coach Sat was dialing it up.
Yeah.
When he was the bruh, some of the plays and some of the stuff we was running that 2012 year he was dialing it up. I think when he became the head coach and he had to worry a little bit more about game management, I think he got more into not even playing the percentages. He just got into trying to have a cleaner game plan. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of our style of quarterback.
And then it took us a while to figure out what worked.
Exactly. We had to figure it out. But I think that was a little bit different. But you talking about impact, it had to be Coach Wood, because you gotta think he brought a defense he brought something to us that we didn't really have that. Yeah, we didn't have that before he got there.
Latrell Gibbs or Duck.
That's the only one you can do.
Okay,
That's the only comparison you can do.
Okay, that's cool. I can go for that. I'm gonna go long range. I'm gonna shoot mine out there before y'all, so y'all can't say I'm going against you. I'm going Duck because of the longevity of the career.
I
got to, because I ain't getting into that. What I'm saying is,
I'm gonna go.
Trail was like Honey Badger out there on the field.
Oh, Binko. That boy was tough. That boy was.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Duck. I'm gonna go Duck though. I felt like Duck too. He could return. Duck had his own little swag about himself. So did Trail. But like Law said, I think the longevity of Duck probably prevailed him in this conversation. But I mean, don't take anything away from Trail though. Trail was a dog too though.
He's great.
Yeah,
great player.
I think I'm gonna probably go. I'm gonna go Duck too, over the fact that I got to see him play more than a season. But if I were to go, if I'm gonna go early, I'm gonna go their first 2 seasons. I might have to go Latrell. As far as I feel like the reason why our side was so good because he was so smart at formation recognition and all that other kind of stuff that our communication was top tier. Duck was a freaky athlete that you didn't really understand how he was so athletic, and he didn't look like he was gonna be the fastest, quickest, but and then he had passion. Duck made it look a lot easier. Like you said, when later in the career, he returning kicks he could have been running backwards and returned a punt. It just looked easy to him. He knocking people out the game, pick every game, 3 picks in the game. But I think early career, I go Trail. Career overall, I give it to Duck.
Nasty.
But I feel like too though, if you had to compare, the one thing I felt like they gave Duck another edge was in the run game. Trail, my boy Trail was not he was physical, but he wasn't always the guy in the run game. But Duck was sticking nose in there. I felt like
Trail, bro. It was some times where Trail making some plays, and I'm like, how did he just?
Oh yeah. Oh, don't take nothing away from him though.
I gotta go with Duck though. Yeah, I'm going Duck.
Yeah.
AG, I'm not allowed to say anything else. Is that what you said? I'm not allowed to make any more comparisons.
No, I didn't say that.
You did. You said it 5 minutes ago. You said I can't make any more. You said I can't make any more.
No, go
you
ahead.
talking about something else?
What you got left in there?
What you got?
I thought he said.
I think I said no. I didn't mean comparisons.
I thought you said that's the only one you can compare him to or something. That's the comparison.
No, he was saying that was a good. That's a good comparison.
Because I was going to make a comparison. I was going to make a comparison regardless whether you said that or not. I was just going to troll you.
I was like, keep doing it. Yeah.
at their best and healthiest? JJ or Marcus Cox?
Ooh, I'm taking a shot. I ain't gonna answer that.
Hey,
I ain't
so
gonna answer that.
okay. So let me ask you a question.
Sure, I can't
What are we
answer.
talking about? Are we talking about playmaking ability, or are we talking about career wise?
I'm gonna let you at their healthy. Okay, how about that's a fair question.
Give them one season.
You gotta run a season. You gotta run a season, and in fall camp, they're both at their August. When they check in August 1st, they are at their healthiest.
Okay,
so we talking about you can take any year from their career.
1 year.
They best.
I'm not.
And
no,
JJ, like
it's
JJ,
not-
his best, Marcus his best.
I'm not saying like, hey, his numbers from 18. I'm just saying, you know what they can do.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about
Yeah.
I'm talking about because you got to think about this. We saw JJ come in when he was figuring it out.
Yeah.
And Marcus was the guy. And then we also
Different
saw
opportunity.
what JJ became. So I'm saying we talking about JJ's prime and Marcus' prime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
What I'm gonna say is this right here. This is what I'm gonna
That's tough.
say. And the outstate offense, it probably will never be another Marcus Cox. So in reality, he was made for that offense. But if you truthfully want me to answer the question,
if I got to truthfully answer that,
if I had to say, okay, I got both of these running backs, and we're running any type of offense, and I can go with this, I'm going with like JJ because JJ was physically, in my opinion, he was just physically better, a better athlete.
Is a freak.
Yeah, he was a freak, and so like you can't go against it. But if you want to say for App State, and you want to say, and I know I'm kind of going around the answer, but if you want to say in the App State offense, I would go with Marcus Cox any day because you can't take away what Marcus did in our offense. The offense was made for him.
But and Marcus also walked into a situation to where a freshman could be the starter for the next 4 years. And he set it up to where, like, by the time the next guy rolled in, he probably had a 2-year career. Next guy rolled in, he had 2 years. Darrington had his 2. Yeah, you got your 2. People not getting 4 no more.
Right. Right. So
you're right. I don't know.
I'm going JJ.
Yeah, if I had to pick
off the bat.
See, that's why
I ain't choosing.
Think about the run versus Penn State. Think about the run versus Penn State when he broke the tackle.
I'm thinking about that
because he scored too fast.
Forget all of that. I'm talking about all these times where Marcus get the ball and he run the stretch right, and somehow he cuts it all the way back to the backside C gap and take it to the crib.
See, that's why I say
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a play where you don't it don't look like nothing. When it start going that way, it don't look like nothing. Then all of a sudden, it's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And then he adds speed to the game later on in the career.
So pick one.
I ain't picking one. I'm skipping that one.
Wow.
I ain't picking any one of them.
All right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I got some water around here.
I got my App State.
I got some water. I won't. No.
I love that cup. I love that white cup.
No, not neither one.
I love it too. I love it. Keeps everything cool. I love it.
Now AG stole 2 from the players' banquet. He went up there to the top
what you're supposed to do.
Well, I don't know. My mama taught me well. Leave it a little extra.
They printed them for us. We're gonna get that.
Yeah, leave it a little extra.
With something.
No, since to get one. And they got some extras up here.
That was great. I love watching you guys squirm. That's pretty awesome.
That was crazy.
I do have a question though. Since we talked about inside linebackers, I do want to hear, since I played the outside linebacker.
You want to hear the top 5?
I want to hear your top 5 on the outside. Granted,
but what you doing? You just saying outside? Are you saying boundary? You saying field? You just saying outside?
Outside because only reason I can say outside because I feel like we only got a small slate in that 3-4 defense. So you really have a handful of guys that you can really pick from. I feel like you got to go dog and boundary. So tell me your 5, AJ, and I'll give you my 5. I think I have. Yep.
Man, I don't want to seem corny or whatever, but like you and Stringer are my favorite guys to watch. You guys
That's
are
a great two right there.
you guys are my favorite two to watch. Okay,
That's a great two.
and I'm just now I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to have Law mock me or call my list trash or anything
If your list trash, I'm gonna tell you your list
anything
trash.
like
listen,
that.
hey,
Because you
As
got to
far
think
as
when you making this list, I'm thinking about my own list too. And
yeah.
like,
I would say, but I'd say what, and I'm not just saying, and Alex can back me up. I've said this for forever. Watching you four with, Keenan, String, Boggs, and John Law. That's my favorite linebacking core. I've said that for forever. Okay.
we were great.
That was a group.
I did love though. Like I love watching you guys, and the high motor thing has always been said about Keenan and even Stringer. Like you guys were great, but watching Akeem in 2018 and 19, especially
Right.
19.
Watching who?
Yeah, King.
The
That-
King.
Big cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was on my list too. I was already
Bro.
I had counted him
Yeah,
in. I was
yeah,
waiting on you to say
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Bro, he was crazy, and he played half that season. A lot of people don't know he played half that season on a cracked foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's just a tough son of a gun. And shout out, just signed a contract with the Arizona Cardinals. It's pretty cool.
That's right.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Good, nice
That's
contract.
pretty
Nice
cool.
contract.
That's pretty nice.
We're proud of King.
Okay.
Now, as far as
You got two more.
Cause I can't wait to give my list. Like it's gonna be a little different.
see, like I could say, and this is gonna be a little recency bias because I've slept since, but I really. It's tough because we've had great recent play. Here's the difference. This is what Alex and I were talking about recently. Because like if you look at the measurables and like the ability and potential, then like you got someone like Nick Hampton was a great player.
Boy, I'm glad you said it because he ain't mine. I'm glad you said it because he ain't mine.
So Nick Hampton but here's the thing though. So like Ethan Johnson, who just played the same position as Keenan, but I like watching Keenan play, even though
Nice too.
Nate Johnson, I think Nate didn't play as well this year. I thought he was better as a true freshman.
Right.
I don't know if
Sometimes it's a little harder because when you come in as a true freshman, people ain't really scouting you like that. And you playing and you just out there, you
That's
balling,
right.
and they ain't really
And you
thinking
got a
about it.
chip. You
Then
got a
when you
chip
come
on
back
your
the
shoulder.
second year, now when you come back the second year, teams done seen you a little bit. Now they scouting you, now they game planning you. It's a little bit different. I can
That's right.
speak to that. Like it's a little harder after you done got off a little bit. Now it's a little harder to keep your motion going because now teams is like, okay, we're not gonna let this guy.
yeah.
You know
Take
what I'm
over.
saying?
Yeah.
See, I'm struggling to come up with a fifth one that I think is fair. I know that my top four,
That's
for
a
sure,
strong four. I don't even know who I would go for.
We got
Yeah.
Keenan, String,
Keenan,
Yeah, see,
Team,
Nick
Nick.
Hampton, and King.
Yeah.
I
See,
mean,
I was just.
go ahead.
No, you good. You good.
No, I was just saying like Akeem, like we were playing like it with an NFL guy out there. I mean, he was all over the place.
This is what I always say. Like for me, I pretty much AJ the same names you said. I would go, but I would put it in the order of probably. I would always say myself first. Only reason I no matter I don't give a damn who it is. I always gonna say this right here. For me, I'm probably the only guy who shared time 3 out of 4 years at Alp. Like I
Right.
really split my time in half. But every year I was top 4 in the team tackles.
Right.
So for me, I look at my productivity as far as the amount of snaps I was out there on the field, and I look at my senior year, and I look at what the things that I was able to complete and able to get done. So for me, I always be like, okay, yeah, but take me out of the picture. I'm always going to say that King, number one, because King, if you look at him, he was probably one of the most versatile outside linebackers.
Yeah.
He could drop in coverage, and he could pass rush. Number two, I would move up Nick Hampton. Reason why? Because I felt like Nick, like for his ability to pass rush. We haven't really seen nobody like that other than Blair.
Shout out
and Blair played, so for me, I say Nick Hampton and the territory he had, like his junior and in part of his senior year, like I mean, I really haven't seen too many outside linebackers do what he do.
Yeah.
Then I would go with Devin Stringer. You know, Devin Stringer, that was my guy. Me and him both played together. Devin could pass rush. He could drop in coverage. He gave the game all he had. For me, I would put myself, truthfully, I'll put myself at 4. And the reason why is because I was strong at pass rushing, but I probably lacked what all 3 of those guys in front of me had, and that was the ability to drop in coverage. I didn't learn to drop in coverage really until I got to the next level, you know, and that's when I really started to understand coverages. So I would put myself at the 4 position, and then I would put somebody like Nate at the 5, but I feel like it really haven't been a 5th person. So I probably should have said top 4 because it really haven't been a 5th person that consistently that have done what those guys have done. So shout out to those guys. So yeah.
My top 5, I might put Brandon Harrington in there.
I forgot about B. Harrington.
I know he dealt with a lot of injuries and stuff, but he a ball player too.
That's right.
It's different at the dog position and it's different at the anchor because Keenan had to split time with a lot of guys, but that's just how Coach Woody. That's the way he coached. That's the way he believed. You should have a rotation of guys and you got to roll them and all of that stuff. So like that's his thing. But like Stringer wasn't really coming out the game. Same thing when you look at like Nick Hampton, he wasn't coming out the game so somebody else could come into the game. Same thing with Keenan. Like you'll be doing everybody a disservice if you got them boys off the field, which is what we was trying to say about Keenan. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that was a disagreement that I had with Coach Woody. Like bro, I ain't like. I'm not saying that guy shouldn't get no reps. I'm just saying he don't need to get none of my reps.
That's right.
I'm saying like,
during the critical times.
During the critical times, you don't need to. I don't need to be over here with you.
Hey, so I want to give an honorable mention here because I thought he was a really good player in 18 and 19. Was Noel Cook? I thought he was a really good outside.
Noel Cook was a good player.
He was a really good
mention. It's a good mention.
Yeah.
That you know what? That's my 5 right there.
You put Noel in it?
Yeah, just because same thing like we talked about Duck and all those other guys. Noel probably had no business playing outside linebacker.
Yeah, no.
Put on weight and everything.
Undersized dude who put on work. He put on weight. He put the work in. And I just was able to be see Noel. I seen Keem. All of them early on in their career. So you just seen them guys and how they came up, man. Noel, man, he hit a whole 360. Because I remember when he first came out there, probably I was like, no way this kid is probably gonna ever touch the field.
Ever.
And then he was a start out there. And then shout out to DJ too. DJ Smith helped hold those guys. So shout out to that whole clan, like I say.
What do you think, AG? What's your top 5?
Safeties?
No, you didn't say you're outside. You didn't give your.
Oh no, I got the same list as you. I got the same 4. I didn't have a 5th.
Okay.
I got the same 4. I would put, if you want me to do them in order, I'm gonna go Keenan because you won't have another motor like that over there. I don't care if they could drop in the coverage or not. He didn't need to. And then I'm gonna go Stringer because he had the same motor with the pass coverage ability.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like he was the kind of guy who might get the ball in his hand and take it back. He was one of those. After him, I'm going Akeem, and then I'm going Nick. I feel like his speed helped him out a lot. I'm the wrong one to ask about technique. I remember watching him because I was a coach when he was a freshman. I didn't think he had the greatest technique. I felt like he had a great motor and he was really fast. I'm sure, Nick Hampton. I'm sure by senior year he developed that into actual skill.
I was saying, shout out to Robert Nunn. We had when I was there. You remember I was there when in 2020 COVID year coaching, and Robert Nunn came in. He used to be head coach at GMC a long time ago at Georgia Military College, and he coached in the league for like 20 years. He was with the Giants when OCU Miura and then when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he came in and taught Nick the long arm. And when he taught me the long arm, that changed his whole game. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Shout out Robert Nunn. Like because I was there, I know, like, you know what I'm saying? I know the progression. Nick, like you saying, he was fast, but he was an undersized dog. Like he was a really undersized
Right.
defensive end coming out of high
He's
school,
kind of
and
like
then he got moved
Akeem.
to dog.
'Cause I feel like
Yeah.
Akeem was undersized for a while. And then
He
Mm-hmm.
was.
you know,
He
And
I was
was.
then
skinny
he
as
put
well, but
Yeah.
he
yeah,
got big, like, you know, and like now he huge, but you know,
yeah.
development was
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah. We had some great players, man. And
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying, no, I'm interested. I'm saying top 5 safeties, Hunt.
Top 5
yeah. Yeah.
in any particular order?
Any particular order.
Any particular order?
Yeah,
Nah,
you ain't
you
got to rank
okay.
them, just go top
And
5.
y'all,
Don't rank
and
them,
listen,
just go
y'all.
top 5.
Uh,
Don't rank them, don't rank them, don't rank them.
uh, you know the DB group, we get a little emotional. So
Yeah,
for
yeah,
everybody out there, listening, I'm gonna throw 5 out there,
yeah.
including myself.
Take y'all move.
I
And
can't
I'm
wait
just
for
gonna
this.
happen to mention myself first. I'm not gonna say that was an order. I'm just gonna mention myself. I'm gonna just have
I
to
just so happened.
mention myself first.
Just so happened.
After myself, I would have I got AJ for his ability
I never
to
played safety,
make a
but all right, that's
difference.
cool.
I got AJ. I got AJ. And then I got
AJ Howard.
Oh, okay,
AJ
all right.
Howard.
Yeah.
I got AJ Howard. Who else I got? I'm gonna give a LOB. I feel like I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody in there. I got Doug in there somewhere. I'm not gonna say necessarily third, but I got Doug in there. But I'm gonna give JT and D Frank they love because I feel like when we left, they're the only two that I would say might be better than me and AJ, but I won't say that they was. I say me and AJ was the best pair, and I had to lead that force. Shout out to AJ.
Okay.
So I'm going
Okay.
me,
My list
AJ.
look a little different.
I'm going me, AJ, Doug, JT, and Desmond.
Okay.
Keenan, who you got?
So Hunch, I ain't lying. 3 was my favorite safety to look back there.
You
I
have
look
to break it down
like
for me. Don't gotta break it
yeah.
down for me.
So I love 3 back there. I'm gonna tell you a sneaky one that y'all probably he had a short stink that safety, but he was a dog at strong.
I know who you got.
Kev Walton, like I feel like
Okay.
Kev Walton.
Okay.
I
I
feel
wasn't
like
going
Kev.
there.
I felt like Kev. I felt like Kev had he especially like
Yeah, it was a
our freshman
dog.
year. He was a dog, So
Certified.
I give Kev his love. D Frank, definitely shout out to D
Ball
Frank.
hog.
But oh yes, definitely. My last 2, 5. I'm gonna say I'm gonna skip 4 and I'm gonna go to 5. 5. I'm gonna say Doug. And the only reason I'm gonna say Doug because I felt like athletically everything he brought those things to the table. It was good to see 2-1 back there. So definitely I have Doug at number 5, and then number 4. Boy, number 4. I'll give it to JT. I give JT the nod
Got some good lists.
because I feel like JT was knowledgeable. I
Yeah.
didn't think that
The
JT
smartest.
was always the most athletic. There's no knock on his athleticism because he is athletic. But I didn't feel like at the position he was always the most athletic. But he was always in the position to make the right play. So I had to give him his credit and shout out to him because when we left, he also took over some of that leadership role.
Yeah.
So that's my 5 right there.
Sheesh. I'm going.
You got low.
I'm going AG. I'm
Oh man,
going.
y'all just saying shit.
Nah, I ain't just.
I used to love looking back there like three with the
I'm
leggings
saying.
all the way down.
I'm saying. I know he gonna get down here in a hurry. I'm going
Exactly. Every time he
AG.
comes.
For me, I'm going Troy Sanders.
I never played with Troy, but yeah, shout out
I
to
played
Troy.
with Troy. I'm putting Troy in mine because Troy is out there. I'm
That's my
putting Troy in
automatic.
mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Troy is in mine. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that right
I
now.
wasn't gonna
Yeah.
mention
Then
him.
I'm
He was the
going.
automatic.
Then I'm going. I think I gotta go Doug. I gotta go Doug after him. Doug Middleton. I'm going JT and AJ Howard. I gotta leave D Frank out of it.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let me take. I gotta take D
I
Frank
gotta
out of.
bump. I gotta take D Frank out
I
of the
forgot.
picture in.
But you know what though? Like D, you know,
Not
'cause
not that
AJ
D Frank wasn't no
yeah,
I know
ball
what you're
player.
saying.
D
If
Frank was
yeah,
a ball player. I'm just
you
talking
did
about when
something when you
I'm
threw Troy in there. When you threw Troy in there, you mixed it up
yeah,
because
yeah.
you kind of went retro. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I'm
kind of messed
saying
me up on
Troy,
that one right there.
Troy was on the way there before the ball was thrown. Like Troy,
bruh,
yeah,
Troy's already hit it there.
smartest. I think JT might have been the only one kind of close to him when it came to knowing what was going on, like before it
Exactly.
happened. And
Yes.
You know
definitely,
what?
he was my 1A.
You know who would have made AJ Howard probably like high up on my list. And shout out, that's my dog. I still talk to AJ to this day. But if he had made that hit against Miami,
Miami.
when the running, y'all remember the first play against Miami when
Yeah,
AJ
they
came
ran
down
power
here?
on
I
AJ
didn't know
Brown.
what happened.
It sound like
I thought it was
I'm gonna
over.
tell you, it sounded like 2x4s hitting. I thought AJ got him down. It's
Yeah,
power
me
when
too.
the guy pulled around, I spilled it. I hear the clack, so I'm thinking
I
AJ
heard
done took him
boom.
down. I'm like, yes, let's go. This how we start the game off. Everybody done
Yeah.
fitted up. And then I hear the crowd kind of roaring. I look and see nothing but ass and elbows on the back
Right.
end. I'm like, dang, he done scooted.
Bruh.
But I
He done
can't say that
slid.
AJ came down. AJ came down and tried to end Buddy Day. He came
He
down with the
did.
right
He
intention. It
did.
just didn't go the right way for us. But he came down, he came down and he tried to start the party up for sure.
Hey, hey, listen, bro. Like you say, I thought like a bomb had exploded. Just
Bruh, it
like,
sounded like two by
like
four, like somebody
I
taking two by
mean,
fours there.
he
Boom.
hit him, and I was like, oh shit. And then
Yeah, I'm
that thing
thinking
looked
it's
like
done deal.
he
If you look
break
at the
out of
clip,
that
but
tunnel.
You see Keenan running faster than everybody. Like you
Running.
see Keenan
Yeah.
run
And I'm not
past
making no
everybody on the
ground.
field.
I know I can't catch him. I'm
I'm
running,
I'm
but
looking
I
not
at
know I
making.
John.
can't catch him.
I'm on one of these, like, oh, damn, we going there.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I'm
was
on
a
because
good ass
cause
whoop.
my shit was done.
That was a good ass whooping we got against Miami that year.
Yeah,
That was a good ass whooping.
yeah.
I call it
Come back to
my bad,
earth.
AJ. I don't mean to cuss on your show, but I will say
That
that
was
was a
tough.
good butt whooping that we
That's unbelievable.
received. Because I remember it's funny that this is a little quick story. We was talking about we had played Tennessee. We played Tennessee well early in the season. So we
On
played
September
Miami.
1st, the ghosts
It-
were out. Yeah.
So we played Miami. We feeling like, oh, we are the shit. And so Law says, hey, I never forget this. He say, this is not the you, and this is not the you. and and
Yeah,
my mindset, I'm going into that. This is not the you.
yeah.
Man, I go against Njoku. He's
Yeah.
a tight end. He put those long arms out on me. He's stretching them bad boys out, and I'm out there trying to cut them like, and he's not. Yeah, and he's not. He's like, you too small. You too small. I was like, that was the game right there. That like, yeah, I felt
D
really
boy
good.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, D boy different.
I'm just remembering Bubble right, Bubble left. They did that down the whole
Oh my
field.
God.
whole
RPO,
game.
Bubble right, Bubble left, and we running. And by the time you get to him, he going out of bounds and he throwing the ball back to the ref, getting set so fast.
So
We can't even get
fast.
a call in. Coach Woody's like, just front six. Like we can't even get a call in, and they're killing us. I'm like,
Killing
dang, this is
us.
gonna be a long day.
And we also didn't plan for that scheme.
No,
Yeah, we didn't think that's what they was gonna do.
they
We thought they
schemed
was gonna
us.
come
That
out
was
and
Rick.
run
He
the
brought out.
yeah.
He said he knew what we was gonna do because he had the Georgia film, but they did us, boy. They
Yeah.
schemed us up pretty good that day.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
good old classic butt whooping.
Well, it's good. Good list, fellas. This has been
Yeah,
great.
man.
It's
You're
been
pretty
great.
much just talking to three of the best that ever did it. FTC, the best
Yeah,
the best movement that's ever been made.
yeah, and
Will it ever
I'm
be
gonna go
done
ahead
again?
and say this while we on here. Since you had to put your list out, and since you had to put your
Yeah.
questions out.
Everybody that voted.
Everybody that voted, if you didn't pick me, you crazy.
Come on, man. You need to go back
Pick
on
up
that
two.
post and
You go back,
you need to go back and write you
resubmit
something
your
on there
answer.
because you weren't thinking with the right
You
mind
wasn't,
at that
no,
time.
no,
You probably was at
no.
work
Refresh it
AJ
up.
posted it midweek. Yeah, you probably was working. It probably was a bad day. So let's go back
Refresh
and
it up.
revisit that.
Like rethink your answer. You know, I'm not saying that
Oh,
DeMarco wasn't a good player, great player. I'm not saying that Jordan Farrell wasn't a good player, great player. I'm not saying that Eric Boggs wasn't a good player, great player. I'm just saying in a game time situation, in a critical
They
situation,
wouldn't be on the Mount Rushmore linebackers.
you want to put your boy in there. You want to
Who's on the
you
Mount
want to see that
Rushmore?
8-8.
I would say that
Dexter Coakley,
Mm-hmm.
Kimbrough, Dexter Coakley, Kimbrough.
John Long.
8-8.
I don't know about
8-8,
that.
and then the last one. DJ.
DJ. Gotta put DJ. Them three. You
But
put them
AJ,
three
you
on.
might know one. AJ, you might know something that we don't know. Who you got?
First of all, Law made 88 cool. He was the first one to make a
That's
high
true.
number. You know what I'm saying?
That is
Like,
100% true.
Creative
I'm gonna
player.
say this.
Hey,
This what I'm gonna say about those guys that you had me on the list with. No shade. They were all great players.
Back to you, John.
All of them boys. Not back. Yeah, back to me. Real talk. Just think about this. Think about this. I learned from Kimbrough and BG and Carl and B Mac, and they learned from Jock and Pierre and all of them boys and DJ, and they learned from Dexter Coakley and whoever was there. So like, if none of them on the list that you put out on the poll that was with me could say that they didn't learn from me. And if they can say that, then they learn. Is what I'm saying about it. And
Did
like
my
Boggs,
poll hurt
like
your
you got to
feelings?
think about. No, it didn't hurt my feelings. I love it. I love you just bringing my name back.
But we had to make
you
sure.
You can see based on your poll that they don't forgot about me a little bit. They don't
It was a
remember what it was like when
misunderstanding.
I was out there.
Hey. It was a lot of it's a lot of recency bias. Even like what you said about Kimbrough, I don't doubt what you said. Like, but you understand, like, go back
14 tackles a game.
If he was, but what I'm saying is, if he had played on more recent teams that were good, I probably would have remembered those days a little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Law.
Yeah,
I'm just
Kimbrough
saying
defensive player of the year in the SoCon last year.
It was 13. We were 4.
He was the defensive player of the year, and it wasn't even close.
You heard AJ said we were 4-8.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't remember.
We won the SoCon championship.
That's right. Hey.
2000.
Oh, you talking about us?
Our year, yeah.
No, I thought you was talking about Kimbrough. No, yeah, I understand it.
I was talking about Kimbrough.
I said that too. Like I was hurt. I got the bad.
Kimbrough was on 13. He was on 12.
No, he was on 12. I thought when AJ was just saying that, I'm thinking that he's talking about Kimbrough. He was talking about Kimbrough's.
You think Kimbrough last year was 13, right, AJ?
No, his last year was 12.
Oh, it was 12.
12.
Yeah, he graduated in 12. He was the last SoCon championship team.
Yep.
You gotta also understand, fellas, like I wasn't able to watch all the games like I was in the ESPN Plus era. I couldn't watch, like I watched every game you guys played.
Right.
I watched every game DeMarco Jackson's played, Jordan Fair, Eric Boggs, John Law. I've watched all your games.
I get it.
Back in the day, especially I was graduated, so I wasn't at every single game, definitely not road games. I couldn't watch road games. Yeah. So it was just a different era of recollection. It's a long time ago.
I'm telling you that me and AG was on the travel squad. We got a hand warmer full of Snickers and bubble gum, and I watched Kimbrough out there live from the 40-yard line. We had to devise a scheme to where we're not moving. We're gonna get on the 40 and we're not gonna move because everybody's gonna move when the ball moves. But we stand our ground on the 40, and we're gonna get front row tickets. And I seen Kimbrough do some amazing stuff out there.
I believe he
tackles the game.
He was a good player. Yeah, he was a really good player, no doubt. He's not on Mount Rushmore though.
If they
that's incorrect.
For me,
hey, who's your Mount Rushmore then? Your 4 Mount Rushmore.
Dino Hackett, who played in the NFL. You talk about like 20 tackles a game, like crazy.
Was he a linebacker?
Linebacker, inside linebacker, yeah.
That was Dexter Coakley. Dino Hackett played inside linebacker.
Dino Hackett was the 80s version of Dexter Coakley. He was a wild man. Great
inside
player.
AJ gonna know some folks.
Yeah. Dino Hackett. Yeah.
Okay, Dino. Okay.
Great player. Was on the first ever Southern Conference championship team at Appalachian State.
Okay.
I mean, some NFL dudes coming out of that team. All right.
That's number one.
Dino. He's the first chronologically.
No, number one. He's on there.
Number one is Dexter
Coakley. That's easy. It doesn't have a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 is Dino Hackett.
Okay.
I would say, and this is me. I am speaking for me personally. I would say number 3 is DJ Smith.
Okay.
Love DJ.
A no-brainer, no question. Okay.
And
now we get into the modern age.
Now we get to the nitty-gritty. Who is it?
For me, John, I hate saying this. I hate pumping you up because now I feel like because I'm a contrarian too. I don't like saying nice things to people with their face. But I would put John on there. I'm telling you, you're my favorite inside linebacker to watch. So I
appreciate it, man.
I would put you.
And that's it.
But I just named a bunch. I named a bunch of inside guys though. I'm gonna get a bunch of guys in the middle. So, but yeah, I think that.
I gotta go back and do my research. I didn't know Dino Hackett played in the
Dino
inside.
Hackett, dude. I'm telling you, Dino Hackett was an absolute animal. 100%.
Hey, AJ, scratch that. I'm gonna take John Law off my Mount Rushmore.
You put Dino in there.
That's right, Dino in there. Put Dino up top.
Hey, I didn't even give my safety list, by the way.
Dino.
I didn't give
I'm knowing the name Dino for sure.
Oh, you just didn't know he played inside backer.
I thought he played outside backer.
No.
Okay. No. Teach me on that.
My safety list.
Give it. Let's hear
it. This is my favorite personal. I'm not trying to be hardcore and rank stats and positions free versus strong or whatever. But because I am sentimental and he is my friend and I think he is on this list and I'm going to put him on there is Alex Gray. Paul Alexander Gray as a Kingston corrected
full
me.
Name. Full name, don't. Okay.
Full name. I'm going to put him. And honestly, I did love watching Alex play. And he's out there, he's taller than everybody else in the backfield, cracking people, running all over the place. Corey Lynch, number 47, went to school with Corey Lynch.
Oh yeah.
Played in the NFL, was everywhere, played as hard as you could ever want anybody to play on the football field, baller. And I'm going to go another one from my school years. I loved watching this dude play. Mark Legree.
Okay.
Mark.
I think he still holds the record for picks in a season, maybe 13.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I think he do too.
Great player. Champion.
Great player.
Good dude. I don't know what he's doing now. He worked for Georgia State for a while, but we'll forgive him for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel a little biased because I know more defense guys than offense guys, and I love Josh Thomas. I love watching Josh Thomas play. Love JT. That's my Mount Rushmore. For me, those are my guys.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, listen.
You should tell me about a guy. You should tell me about a guy, AJ. You should tell me about a safety.
So he played safety he played safety in the NFL. He played corner at Appalachian. Matt Stevens. He just passed away.
Matt Stevens.
So we had
that's right. Yeah.
Appalachian State in the mid-90s. This is back in the day when if you were like a truly great athlete, they'd put you on defense. This is just back in the Appalachian days when that would happen. Matt Stevens and Dexter Coakley, both All-Americans on the defensive side of the ball. So you got Dexter Coakley tackling everything in sight, and Matt Stevens still All-American. If Matt Stevens doesn't get hurt in 1995 and blow out his knee, we're national champions that year. That's the thing that everybody from the 90s says. That would have been our first national championship in 1995 if Matt Stevens doesn't blow out his knee. He did make the transition, though, in the NFL. He played safety.
Okay.
And he played for the Redskins, the Bills, the Texans, and the Patriots. Actually played a lot. I think he has like 10 or 13 career picks in the NFL.
Okay.
Won a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. Like I said, recently passed away. It's very sad, but that was a dude, though. I mean, that he was a walk-on in 1991. Weighed like 140 pounds. Little kid from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Worked his way up. I probably took steroids. I don't know, but gained some weight, gained some muscle, and became an all-timer. So there you go. Little history lesson.
I'm saying I want to hear this one from you, AJ, because I know you know it, and I'm gonna leave it. I know we got to get off here. We've been on here for a long time. I'm saying your Mount Rushmore, because we've been on the defensive side. Your Mount Rushmore for running backs
that I've seen, or like that I just think historically.
Period. Historically. Because you've seen.
No, let's go what you see. Let's go what you've seen.
This changes a lot, guys, because I know we've had the show for 10 years, so like we've done this before. But sitting here listening to you guys talk, I think the guy that kind of mystified me, because Marcus, it wasn't faster than everybody, and he wasn't bigger and stronger than everybody, but that dude found a way to get yards. He found a way to pick up first downs.
5,000.
So I'm gonna say Marcus Cox.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
I tell you, a guy, I had class with him. I really liked watching him. He played with Armani Edwards, which, obviously he was kind of all the firepower. But I loved watching Devin Moore. I had classes with him, but he was a really good player. Devin Moore made a catch in 2007, the playoffs, shoestring catch, that if he drops it, we don't win the national championship. We don't have a three-peat. I mean, really, fourth down, everything's crazy. I think Jalen, but I'll probably rank, in terms of like greatness, I'd say Jalen Moore under Marcus Cox, because I think Jalen at his peak was just a freak of nature, as we've already covered here. And man, we've had a lot of good running backs. I don't know, man. I think Darrington's time at running back was just
you gotta throw Darrington in there. You gotta throw Darrington in there.
Yeah, he's undeniable. He's just great at everything he did.
Now think about that back to back, Marcus to JJ to Darrington.
Yeah. I mean, so I'd say that. But
Darrington might be my number one all time. Just by the way, if he would have had 4 years, I feel like we would have seen crazy stuff.
I think I was a little sentimental to Marcus though, because like he was that bright spot on offense.
Yeah.
In
No, Marcus paved the way. Like he paved the way.
I look at Marcus like I look at Keenan, like I look at a guy that like AJ was saying earlier, a guy that played for 4 years.
Yeah.
You could look at all the rest of the guys and say, okay, well they had a good run and this and that, but like really when you think about it, when JJ came in, he had to wait behind Marcus.
Mm.
So like it's a lot of guys that I look at and it's like when I'm starting to look at them and compare them and look at the impact, it's like, okay, where were they the guy from the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
And that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, it mattered if he was the guy the
I
whole
agree.
time or not. Like
I agree.
Marcus was the guy from the time he got there.
Yeah.
Because we used to be worried about like who's finna get red shirted when they start having the meetings about who's finna get red shirted.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting out there talking to Marcus like, man, I don't know. Man, they like, Marcus, there's no way you get red shirt. You score every scrimmage. Like most of the time,
everyone we had.
Don't even worry about it. Like
But kind of picky too though, like y'all both said great shit. I mean great things. I'm back on the discussion side.
I gotta edit this whole episode now. Thanks.
I'll say this. AG, what you said too though about Darrington, like that's the one. That's why you almost have to put him at 3, because you always got spurts of the greatness that he could do. Like he could return kicks, he could be a receiver, he could be a runner. So I feel like, but with JJ and Marcus, you always got boom, 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 boom. You know what you're gonna hit them with, and that's why they're who they are. But definitely, you can't take Darrington out of the conversation though.
I'm gonna get a lot of people that are gonna yell at me because I didn't say Kevin Richardson.
I was wondering if he was gonna say Kevin Richardson.
Yeah, I probably should have said Kevin Richardson should probably replace Devin Moore on that. Honestly, I don't know. He's older than me. I think his last year was in 2007, which was my freshman year. So I'm gonna be biased to the guys that I think that were in school at the same time as I was. That's not an excuse. Kevin Richardson needs to be on that list though.
Yeah, you gotta put him on. We talking about Mount Rushmore.
K Rich, man. I mean, he's great. He's just a great player. But when you look at the stats, like when App plays like the next level up, if you look at K Rich's stats against Marcus had great numbers against big teams. Not that anyway, I'm not trying to pit one against the other, but
that's a factor.
Oh, that matters. Hey, listen, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I hate front runners. I hate against anybody. I hate people who are good against average talent, and then when the big boys come to play, I can't find you. So
that's valid.
That's a great stat right now.
Marcus was our offense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything revolved around Marcus. Even when we passed the ball,
the tight end, and when they caught all those, that was because Marcus had ran 40 of them already.
Yeah, he done already scooted. So
yeah.
Facts.
Guys, this was as much fun as I've had doing an episode in years. This is a lot. I don't know if it was too much for you guys. I apologize if it was, but this was great.
That was great, man.
There's a ton of fun.
Do it in a day.
Yeah, I love it. So hold on a second. I'm going to wrap up the episode because if anybody's made it this far, then they should get a medal. So for everybody that's listened to this show of just a live stream in the Black and Gold podcast and hanging out with these guys, thank you. And thanks to our sponsor, Boonshine. So until next week, when who knows what we're going to do. Hopefully it's a bunch more wins that we can talk about. Go Apps.